A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Jack Benny Program, transcribed, presented by Lucky Strike. Light up a Lucky Strike, friends, and enjoy the smoother, milder smoking that only Lucky's fine tobacco can give you. From first puff to last, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. For you see, LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. That's why at market after market, the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that guarantees more real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. Puff after puff with never a rough puff.
And remember that the tobacco experts, men born and bred in the business, choose Lucky's for their own personal smoking enjoyment. Yes, a recent survey shows more of these experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen, smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
So take a tip from the experts and smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. Every puff of the way, you'll get more real deep-down smoking enjoyment with never a rough puff. Yes, you'll enjoy a smoother, milder, truly finer cigarette. Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few hours, Jack Benny and his entire troupe leave for New York to start off the campaign for the National Heart Fund. So now, let's go out to Jack Benny's house in Beverly Hills.
Well, Rochester, it won't be long before we're all packed and on our way to New York.
Yeah, that lovely suburb of Harlem.
Hey, Rochester, did you cancel the newspaper and leave a note for the milkman?
I haven't had time, boss. I've been answering the phone all morning.
The phone?
Uh-huh. Luella Parsons, George Fisher, Sheila Graham, Henna Harper, they all called.
You know, Rochester, when you're a big star like I am, you can't make a move without the columnists knowing about it.
I don't know, boss. They sure were surprised when I told them you were leaving for New York.
Surprised? Why?
They didn't know you were back from Europe.
Well, that I can't understand at all. Rochester, if those columnists didn't know I was back from Europe, why did they call the house?
To verify a rumor.
What rumor?
They heard you were switching to CBS.
What?
But yesterday, Erskine Johnson scooped them all.
He did?
Yeah, he found out you were the walking man.
Look at Rochester. That was 3 years ago.
Well, you know how it is, boss. When you're a big star, you can't make a move without everybody knowing about it.
I guess so. Well, Rochester, have you got all my things packed?
Uh-huh. You know, boss, it's great to be a radio star. You get to travel a lot and see so many different places.
Well, I do get around a lot, but nobody travels as much as Bob Hope. He's the only man I know who keeps a change of underwear in his wallet. He has to unzip and then unbutton to get to a $1 bill. Not only that...
Boss, you haven't got time for a routine.
That's right. Now, Rochester, don't forget to write a note to the milkman telling him we'll be gone for a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. By the way, the man from the pet shop called about the parrot. He said the lowest he can keep her for is 75 cents a day. Shall I take Polly over to him?
No. I already took Polly to another place. She'll be well fed and cared for.
Good.
Now, put this in the desk and be sure it doesn't get lost. When we get home, we'll need it to get Polly back.
Boss, a pawn ticket.
She'll be fed and well cared for. That's the law. And Rochester, put this $2 in the same envelope with the pawn ticket.
$2? Is that all the pawnbroker gave it for Polly?
I would have got more if she kept her mouth shut. Stupid parrot. Now, Rochester, write that note to the... I'll get it. Hello?
Hiya, Jackson. You all set to bounce down to the station to make with that choo-choo to the big town. This is Phil.
Oh, I'm so glad you told me. You know, when I picked up the phone and a voice said, "Hiya, Jackson, are you all set to bounce down to the station and make with the choo-choo to the big town?" I was sure it was Anthony Eden. Phil, are you packed?
Yes, sir. I'm taking 3 trunks, 4 handbags, and 5 valises, and they're all full.
How come you're taking so many clothes?
Clothes? Holy smoke, I knew I forgot something.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Phil, you're the only guy I know whose luggage has labels inside and out. Why take all that liquor to New York?
They're short of water. Gotta have something to bathe in.
Well, Phil, if you're going to bathe in it, I wish you'd take champagne. I can't think of anything more exciting than Phil Harris sitting in a bathtub surrounded by millions of dancing bubbles. Yeah, what an idea for a calendar.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, I haven't got much time. What'd you call for?
I want to ask you, Jackson, is it all right if I take Sammy, my drummer, along?
Sammy, your drummer? Well, what do you want to take him to New York for?
Well, he's been corresponding with a girl there, and he'd like to get married.
Oh, childhood sweetheart?
No, they met through a Lonely Hearts Club.
Oh.
He sent her a picture of Clark Gable, she sent him a picture of Lady Ashley, and it was love at first sight.
Gee, that's sweet. But, Phil, when they meet each other, won't they be disappointed?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know what the girl looks like, but Sammy, your drummer, certainly doesn't look like Clark Gable.
Oh, I don't know, Jackson. Paint a little hair on his head, put a mustache on him, and you can't tell the difference.
You mean between him and Gable?
No, between him and the girl.
Well, Phil, if Sammy wants to go to New York to get married, you can take him with you.
Bless you, Cupid.
All right. Now, when you get on the train, see that all of your...
Wait a minute, Jackson, wait a minute. Hey, you, can't you hear the buzzer? Go answer the door. Now, what were you saying, Jackson?
Phil, who are you talking to?
Alice. Now, what were you talking about?
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Phil, does Alice let you talk to her like that?
Jackson, as long as I talk to her, she's happy.
Well, now I've heard everything.
So long, Jackson.
Goodbye, beautiful. Well, there's the biggest ham I've ever known in my life. If he was half as good as he thinks he is, he'd be twice as good as he is. Now, Rochester, what kind of a joke was that I just said? I've got one lousy joke, and that's no good. Now, Rochester, we better start with...
Hey, boss, while you're on the phone, Mr. Wilson and the Sportsman Quartet came in.
Oh, hello, Don.
Hello, Jack.
Hiya, boys. Say, Don, are you all packed and ready to go?
I sure am.
Well, it won't be long before we... Don, what have you got under your coat?
Oh, it's nothing, Jack.
But, Don, I see a little bulge around your waist. Now, open your coat.
Well, all right.
Well, what do you know? A trunk. I remember their ad. Oshkosh luggage, curved to fit your stomach. Don, how come you stopped by here? If you got any spare time, you should be working on a commercial for New York.
Well, that's why we dropped in, Jack. We've got a terrific idea for a commercial.
For New York?
Yeah, get this. Take it, boys.
N is for the neon lights on Broadway. E is for the elevated train.
And how they roar.
W
fellas.
They ain't got there.
Ain't got there.
Y is for the why. It doesn't rain.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute, fellas, hold it. Who wrote that? Nick Kenny? For heaven's sake, Don, that isn't what I had in mind at all. After all, we're going to New York, a hustling, bustling city. Let's have something fast and peppy.
Well, what would you suggest, Jack?
There's so many things to sing about in New York. Broadway, Times Square, 42nd Street.
42nd Street? Oh, we've got one on that. Okay, boys, take it.
Hear the beat of dancing feet. It's a song we love, the melody of 42nd Street. Come with us, our friends will greet. On the avenue, we're taking you to 42nd Street. They smoke Lucky's, good old Lucky's, we mean Lucky's Strike. Pat and Joe and Nat and Mo say that's the one they like. Sure enough, there's no rough puff. Not a rough puff, 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 they repeat on 42nd Street. They smoke Lucky's, good old Lucky's, LSMFT. Need we say more? Lucky's pay more? Yes. Lucky's pay millions of dollars more than official parity prices to get right tobacco for your cigarette. Oh, come with us, our friends to be. On the avenue, we're taking you to 42nd Street.
Wonderful, John. That's exactly what I want. Now, that'll be just fine.
All right, Jack. See you on the train. Come on, fellas.
Don, you dropped your trunk.
Oh, yes.
Gee, it is curved.
Well, so long, Jack.
So long, Don. Now, Rochester, send for a cab. I'm going to pick Miss Livingston up on the way to the station. I know Phil is packed and Don is, but Dennis, I always have to worry about that kid. I wonder if he's finished packing yet.
Oh, Mother, will you come in here, please?
In a minute. Oh, just think. My son is preparing to go to New York. In a short time, he'll be 3,000 miles away from me. I don't want him to know how I feel. I better wipe this smile off of my face. Mother! Coming? Now, Dennis, when you get on the train, the first thing you... Dennis, why are you lying up there on the mantelpiece?
I'm practicing how to sleep in an upper berth.
Upper berth?
Oh, Mother, if it's good enough for Mr. Benny, it's good enough for me.
Mr. Benny sleeps in an upper berth?
The same one.
No!
Yeah, the last time I shared one with him, I couldn't get any sleep at all. All night long it was talk, 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 talk.
Mr. Benny?
No, it was Paris.
His Paris? No wonder you were annoyed with all that talk.
In Kansas City, I woke up with an egg in my hair.
What a man. Imagine you and Mr. Benny and a parrot in an upper berth.
Oh, it was worse when he had his polar bear.
Oh, Dennis, if Colgate would only start paying you, you could quit that gray-headed old schnook.
No, Mother, I'd never quit Mr. Benny. He made me what I am today.
Dennis, let me ask you something. What are you today?
I'm a very popular tenor. That's what I am.
Well, if you're so popular, why are they making Phil Regan minister to Ireland?
Because his mother came from there.
What? Now, Dennis, you know what song you're going to sing for the New York show?
Yeah, and I'll rehearse it tonight on the train when I'm in the upper berth.
How can you rehearse in an upper berth?
The orchestra's in the lower.
Oh, well, I want to hear the song now, so sing it.
Okay, Mom.
Love is hold me tight. There's no tomorrow. There's just tonight. Love is a flower that blooms so tender. Each kiss a dewdrop of sweet surrender. Love is a moment of life enchanting. Let's take that moment that tonight is granting.
And when you're in New York, don't forget...
Oh, I'll get it, Mother. Hello?
Oh, hello, Dennis. Are you all packed and ready to leave?
Yes, Mr. Benny.
Good. I'll see you on the train. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Benny,
What?
if you bring the parrot, cut her nails. They scratch.
Look, I'm not bringing the parrot.
Then cut yours.
I will. Goodbye. Rochester.
Boss, the cab is waiting out front.
Oh, well then, Rochester, you take care of the luggage. I'm going to take the cab and pick up Miss Livingston. Well, Mary, we're almost to the station. In no time at all, we'll be New York bound.
Yeah. Say, Jack, I'm going to live at the Sherry Netherlands. Where are you going to stay in New York?
The usual place, the Acme Plaza Hotel.
Oh, Jack, not that awful joint.
Oh, it isn't so bad, Mary, now that they've put in a heating system.
Some heating system. You step into the lobby and the clerk hits you in the face with a hot towel.
Mary, that towel comes from the Waldorf Astoria, and that's class. Sister. Say, Mary, when we get to New York, are you going over to visit your folks?
Oh, I sure am. As a matter of fact, I received a letter from them this morning.
Your mother and father? Well, what do the Ichabod and Mr. Toad of Plainfield have to say?
I've got the letter right here in my purse.
You got a cold, too.
Here it is.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. My darling daughter, Mary, I would like to make this letter a lot more personal, but your father's leaning over my shoulder. I would tell him to go away, but this is a cold night, and it feels good when he breathes down the back of my neck.
Why did you try a hot towel? From the Waldorf Astoria.
Too bad I didn't think about writing this letter New Year's Eve. On that night, your father's breath could have kept me warm and given me a pony at the same time.
You sound a little like Andy Devine. I want to show George I'm working good tonight.
Mary, dear, isn't it a shame that you're coming east on the same day your Uncle Lou has to leave on a trip? If your trains pass and you wave at him and two hands wave back, one belongs to the deputy sheriff.
Oh, in again, huh?
This time, your Uncle Lou was innocent.
Oh, sure.
It seems that last Tuesday at midnight, he broke into the First National Bank.
He's innocent.
As he stood there in front of the vault with a blowtorch in one hand and a bottle of nitroglycerin in the other, two policemen grabbed him. They wouldn't believe he was making a deposit.
Oh, that's a tough break for the kid.
When they brought him to court, your uncle pleaded his own case and was acquitted of the charges.
Oh.
However, they gave him 10 years because during the trial he had his car parked in front of a fire hydrant.
If he'd have gone on a bicycle, he'd be a free man today.
But, Mary, I want you to know that when your uncle arrives in Alcatraz, he won't be an ordinary prisoner. They've given him an unlisted number.
So much for Uncle Louie.
So much for... Jack, stop reading over my shoulder.
Oh, I thought I saw something about your sister, Babe.
Oh, yes, here it is. I'll read it to you. Mary, here's the most exciting news of all. Your sister Babe is going to get married to some drummer named Sammy.
No.
I don't know how Babe met him, but she insists on me calling her Lady Ashley.
Well, I'll be darned. Is that all, Mary?
Yes.
Well, we'll be at the station pretty soon.
Jack, how much does it... Oh, never mind.
What is it, Mary?
No, never mind.
You were going to ask me something. What is it?
Well, how much does it cost to ride in a taxi from Beverly Hills to the Union Station?
Now, isn't that funny? I was curious, too, so I checked with the company, and it costs $1.85.
$1.85?
Yes, they even itemized it for me. See, in order to operate a cab over that distance, they figure it this way. Gas, 32 cents. Oil, 6 cents. Wear and tear on tires, 9 cents. General repairs, 12 cents. Insurance, 29 cents. Leaving a total of 97 cents, which goes to the man behind the wheel.
I wondered why you were driving.
Hey, cabby, how do you like the way I... Isn't that cute, Mary? He's fast asleep on the back seat. Cabby, wake up. We'll soon be at the Union Station. Well, Mary, here we are at the main entrance. First thing I'll do is check my bag, and then I'll...
Jack, what'd you stop for?
Mary, as much as I like to travel, I just hate to walk into this station. Everybody who works in there drives me crazy. That train announcer, the man behind the magazine counter, the ticket agent. Everybody.
Well, Jack, nobody else seems to have any trouble. It could be your fault.
How can it be my fault? I never do anything but ask them straight questions.
Well, let's go in and get it over with.
All right.
Well, go on, Jack. Go validate the ticket.
Okay. Don't push me. Well, here's the ticket window. Oh, mister.
May I help you, sir?
Now, wait a minute. All I said... Huh?
I said, may I help you, sir?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to have you validate my ticket.
Why, certainly. There you are, sir, and may you have a very pleasant trip.
Thank you. By the way, where's the other fellow who used to validate the tickets here?
Oh, Mr. Nelson, he isn't here anymore.
You see, Mary, he's not here anymore, so it wasn't my fault at all.
I guess not, Jack.
Attention, please. The Super Chief for Albuquerque, Kansas City, Chicago, and New York, now loading on track 7.
Hey, that train announcer wasn't silly at all, was he?
Something wrong, sir?
No. I was just thinking, that train announcer, he's new, isn't he?
Yes, he is. The other fellow isn't here anymore.
Well, good. You know, Mary, this is the first time I've ever enjoyed going through this Union Station.
Attention, please. The Super Chief now departing. All aboard.
We better hurry, Jack. That's our train.
Right behind you, Mary. Well, Mary, We're on our way to New York. Rochester's on the train, and I hope the whole...
Hiya, Jackson.
Oh, hello, Phil.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, Dennis. You see Don?
Here I am.
Well, we're all on.
Jackson, I want to thank you for letting me take Sammy along. He's on the train, too.
Good, good.
You know, Jack, this is the first time we've ever started on a trip with you being so happy.
Well, why shouldn't I be? For once, I got on the train without running into a lot of crazy people. I got a nice compartment here, too.
Hey, look, we're pulling into Pasadena.
That's right, kid. We stopped here for 10 minutes.
Hey, Jackson, how about a game of gin?
Okay, Phil, get out the cards.
Jack, while we're stopping here, I'm going to step off and get a magazine.
Mary, you stay here. I'll get one for you. Phil, deal the cards. I'll be back in a minute. Yada-dee-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Gee, they got a nice station here in Pasadena. Let's see, where's the entrance? Oh, here it is. Let me see. Where's the magazine counter? Oh, there it is, over there. Yada-dee-da-dum, da-dee-da-dum, da-dee-dum-dee-da-dum. Oh, Mister. Oh, no. No.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim. Coming down.
Not him, too.
Look, Blue Eyes, you want a magazine or don't you?
Well, certainly. That's why I got...
Leaving on track 3 for all points south and Tennessee. Well, look from out the magnolia tree.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Now, calm down and tell me which magazine you want.
I'll take this one right here, Coronet.
Put on your glasses. That's a phone book.
A phone book?
If a man answers, hang up.
Look, if you don't stop being so crazy, I'll report you.
Crazy? Me?
If you're not, why have you got that flower stuck in your ear?
Oh, is that still there?
What?
I was afloat in the Rose Parade.
Look, mister, I don't understand you at all. Do you enjoy aggravating me?
Ooh, do
Well, I've had enough. Give me a magazine, any magazine. My train leaves in 5 minutes.
Good. I couldn't stand you any longer.
Oh, nuts.
Train now leaving on track 8 through Illinois to New York State. South Pacific and Kiss Me Kate.
Sammy, get back on the train. That's what I better do, too.
Hey, Jackson, you better hurry up. We're pulling out of here, son.
Coming. If I didn't have so much trouble here, I'd have been there.
Hey, Bud. Bud.
Uh-huh?
Come here a minute.
Look, I'm in a hurry.
Where you going?
New York.
What train you taking?
The Super Chief.
Uh-uh.
What?
Take the El Capitan.
But I got my tickets on the Super Chief.
The El Capitan will beat it into Kansas City by 3 lengths.
The El Capitan?
Get a load of that position. It's on the rail.
What?
And look at the breeding. It's by Santa Fe out of Los Angeles.
Gee, maybe I could...
Jack, you better hurry.
Okay, Mary. I'm sorry, mister, but I'm not taking the El Capitan. I'm going to stay on the Super Chief.
Well, okay, if you want to take a chance on a sleeper.
You're darn right I do. Coming, Rochester, coming.
Jack, hurry. Faster.
Don't worry, Mary, I'll make it. There, I'm on.
Oh, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah.
He's on the train.
So he is. Now, you all packed?
Uh-huh.
Well, then let's hurry and get to the airport. Ooh, will he be surprised when we greet him in New York?
Oh, will he?
We'll be back in just a moment, but first,
LSMFT, LSMFT.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Ripe, light tobacco that guarantees there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. For you see, at market after market, the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy light, mellow leaf that gives you a smoother, milder, altogether finer cigarette every puff of the way.
No doubt about it, friends. Lucky's give you more. More smoothness and mildness. More real, deep-down smoking enjoyment. So light up a Lucky and enjoy the mellow taste of truly fine tobacco. From first puff to last, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Good reason to make your next carton Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week our program will originate in New York City, where we open the American Heart Association campaign. Good night, all.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and the Day in the Life of Dennis Day.
Good health to all from Rexall. From New York, it's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, welcoming you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store names. You know us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company, each one scientifically compounded to do a job for you. Take Rexall's famous mouthwash, MI31, as an example. MI31 is the name of a special antiseptic formula that kills contacted germs in a matter of seconds when used full strength, yet will not harm delicate membranes of the mouth and throat. Uncompromising quality like this is what we family druggists are talking about when we tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. This is the first time the Harris family has been to New York in years. And as we look in, we find them standing by the window of their suite high in the New Yorker Hotel. Phil is pointing out the famous landmarks to Alice and the children.
Gee, Daddy, New York is an exciting place.
Yeah, it sure is, Phyllis. As a matter of fact, it's the biggest city in the country. Next to Doo-Wah Diddy. Now, look, children, I want to show you some more interesting landmarks, and incidentally, Alice, I want you to pay attention, too.
Oh, now, look, Phil, you don't have to tell me about New York. I was born here and lived here until I was 18.
I know that, but a lot of new things have been built since then, like the Woolworth Building, the Brooklyn Bridge.
No, those places were built long before I was born.
If you say so. Now then, kids, do you see that low dome on Riverside Drive there? That's the tomb of the greatest general the world has ever known, Robert E. Lee.
That's Grant's tomb.
Quiet, you Yankee.
Phil, maybe I'd better
No, wait a minute. No, you don't. I don't want my little southern daughters misinformed.
All right. I'll do it your way. Chillin', Just looky down there, you little rebels, yowl.
Thank you, Cottonmouth Faye.
Y'all see that statue of the woman in the harbor there with the arm held aloft?
Who is she, Mammy?
Barbara Fritchie.
Don't overdo it. That's the Statue of Liberty, kids. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. But you can put that torch down, baby. I'm a married man now. But look, if there's anything else you kids want me to point out, just go ahead and name it. I know this town like a book.
What's that tall building over there?
That tall building? Oh, you mean the tallest one? Oh, that's...
I'll give you a hint, Phil. It begins with the letter E.
Oh, of course, that's the Eiffel Tower, kid. Used to be the tallest structure in the world.
Until they built the Empire State Building in London.
Alice, I don't need your help. I know that.
Daddy, if we're good, will you take us to the Bronx Zoo?
The what?
The Bronx Zoo.
Oh, sure. I'm anxious to see one of them Bronxes myself. Besides that, we'll be able to see the lions, the tigers, and the anteaters.
What does an anteater look like?
Oh, an anteater? Oh, that's a funny-looking animal. It's got a long snout, and it's always poking around, and it looks like...
Good morning, Philip.
Thank you very much, Willie. Now you can go back in your cage.
Uncle Willie, Daddy's going to take us to the zoo.
Not only that, I'm going to explain all the different animals to him, Willie.
Oh, Philip, haven't you done enough to confuse their little minds already?
What are you talking about? I'm trying to educate my children. I want them to know as much as I do.
That they knew 2 years ago. Now, Philip, you'd better let me take the children to the zoo. I know more about animals than you do.
You do not? I know every animal there is there.
You do, But you're so smart. What's a new?
I beg your pardon?
I said, what's a new?
Nothing much about, so what's a new with you? Oh, you dove, you, Philip. Did you hear that? That's a pretty funny gag, ain't it? I mean, just offhand like.
Oh, Father, how could you?
Philip, that's the kind of a joke that would appeal only to a child.
As a child, I'd like to contradict you.
Maybe you don't like my sense of humor, Willie, but most people do. That's how I became successful.
Phil has a point there, Willie.
Of course I have. How do you think I became as famous as I am today?
You married Alice?
Willie has a point there.
All right. You're all just jealous of me because I'm a celebrity, because people are always crowding around me, and they're... Uh-oh. Hey, that must be the newspaper men. They've come to interview me. Yes, sir. I had it all arranged by my social secretary, Mr. Remley.
Frankie arranged it?
Sure. I gave him $500 to throw a big party last night at the Stork Club, just for the press.
Well, if it was your party, why didn't you go?
Well, Frankie thought it'd be hammy if I showed up. You know, he said he could rave about me more if I wasn't there. Uh-oh. Now, kids, look. Kids, you better hide in the bedroom so you won't get trampled. Willie, you open the door and act like a butler, and Alice...
I know. I'll tie a rag around my head and pretend I'm a chambermaid.
I never thought of that. Nah, some of the older reporters might recognize you. Now, look, honey, they're here to see me, but I'll try to get you in one of the pictures.
Gee, would you?
Yeah. All right, Willie, open up that door. Let 'em in. Hey, Alice, look. There's all the important columnists are here. There's Winchell, Ed Sullivan, Jack Gould, Val Adams, Nick Kenny, John Crosby, and hey, there's Earl Wilson. Gee, if I'd have known he was coming, I'd have worn my sweater.
Say, Phil, you'd better greet them.
Yeah, I will. Gentlemen, quiet, please, gentlemen. Quiet. Quiet, if you will. I'm a busy man, and I don't have much time. Ask your questions, take your pictures systematically, and I'll try not to show any partiality.
Hey, Steve, who's the curly-headed jerk with the red eyes?
I don't know. Probably a deadbeat relative of Miss Faye's.
All right, gentlemen, I'm all ready.
Step aside, Bud, so we can talk to Miss Faye.
We'd like some pictures, Miss Faye. We'd like a story from you, too.
Oh, I'll be very happy to oblige you, fellas.
Me too.
We'd like a little resume of your life story.
Well, I was born in Nashville, and I was one of 8 boys. I had all my schooling there, and when I was in grammar school at the age of 23, my pappy took me and my 7 brothers west.
Hey!
Pappy always said...
Hey, B.O. plenty. What do you think you're doing?
I'm telling the story of my life.
Go in the other room and write it down.
I haven't got a pencil and paper.
Write it on the wall in blood. We'll copy it later.
Miss Faye, may we take a picture now?
Oh, certainly. And fellas, do me a favor. Take it from over here. My left side is my best.
I look good from any side.
Pop out a little cheesecake. Would you mind showing us your leg? A little higher. Just a little higher. Higher, please.
I can't. I got my pants leg up to my hip now.
Will you be quiet, Miss Faye? May we see a little leg, please?
Well, if you don't mind, I'd rather not.
What's the matter, Miss Faye? Bashful?
No, bow-legged, but I'm not.
Miss Faye, tell this bellhop to get lost.
Bellhop?
Here, son, take this $5 and go down and get a bottle and some setups.
You can't tell me to go down and get a bottle? I'm on my way. I can have a picture taken any time.
Miss Faye, I always listen to your program, and I enjoy it very much, especially the songs. I'd like to hear one.
Well, which one? How about Row, 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 Old Master Painter? That's what I like about the South. Lucky Old Son, the General and his horse.
Bye-bye, baby. Remember you're my baby when they give you the eye. And just to show that I care, I will write and declare that I'm on the loose, but I'll stay on the square. I'll be lonely, but even though I'm lonely, there'll be no other guy. Though I'll be gone for a while, I know that I'll be smiling with my baby by and by.
Bye-bye, baby. Remember you're my baby when they give you the eye.
Although I know that you care, won't you write and declare that though on the loose, you are still on the square.
I'll be lonely, but send that rainbow to me, then my shadows will fly. Though I'll be gone for a while, I know that I'll be smiling with my baby by and by.
Or Old Master Painter, or Apply the Fundamental, or Chattanooga Shoe Shine Boy, or The Preacher and the Bear. Or...
Why don't you shut up?
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for the interview and the pictures, Miss Faye. We've got to run along.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. Say, didn't you guys go to a nice party at the Stork Club last night?
Oh, sure. And we had a swell time, too.
Who do you think your host was?
Oh, some Texas oil man named Frank Remley.
He told you he was a Texas oil man?
Oh, not only Texas. He's got wells in Oklahoma, California, and Saudi Arabia. Well, thanks again, Miss Faye.
So long. See you around.
How you like that, Remley? He takes the credit for throwing the party, he spends my money, and you get all the publicity.
I can't help it, darling, if the newspaper men prefer to interview me. Such is the penalty of being a cinema queen whose every action is of great import to the reading public.
A load of this wampus baby star. Wait till I see that Frankie. He's got oil wells, huh? I'm going to take him apart.
I'm Curly.
Well, if it ain't the high-octane Remley. How are things in sordid Arabia? Did the newspaper men enjoy my party last night?
That was better than I expected. Here's a bill from the Store Club for $250 more.
You pay it when your next gusher comes in, Glenn. Look, Frankie, tell me about that big oil man who was at the Store Club last night.
Oil man?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard some lush there bragging about the oil wells he owned all over the world. I don't know who said it.
You were the one who said it.
Oh, that's where I heard it.
Now, wait a minute.
I know the voice sounded familiar.
Frankie, this is the worst thing you've ever done to Phil, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself, really.
Please. Don't shout at me. My nerves are all frayed. It's a hectic night I spent on Curly's behalf. I'm ruining my health for this boy.
What do you mean?
This morning when I got up, I could see the bags under my eyes without looking in the mirror.
Remley, let me ask you once more, why do you do these things to me? You were supposed to get me publicity.
Curly, I tried. I went to every columnist in town and asked them to mention your name. They all refused.
Refused why?
They all said they wrote for family newspapers and they couldn't use dirty words like Phil Harris.
What's dirty about Phil Harris? Such a clean-sounding name. Remley, you told me you were going to get me good publicity when we got to New York. Now, why haven't you?
Nobody knows you here. This is a tough town to crack. Got to do something sensational.
Sensational? Like what?
Well, let me think. Hey, I got it. All you got to do is imitate one of the greatest publicity stunts ever pulled in history. Do what Lady Godiva did.
Frankie, don't be silly. I couldn't swim the English Channel.
It's a better answer than I expected. Curly, Lady Godiva rode through town on a white horse. Naked.
Where are we going to find a naked white horse? Look, we got to think of something that nobody's ever done before. I realize that, but what?
I don't think anybody's ever walked to Europe yet.
Well, that's about as much as I can listen to. So long, fellas. I'm going inside and call a brain surgeon. I think I've got a double header for him.
Ignore her, Curly. We'll think of something.
Yeah, we'll think of something. But remember now, I want it to be dignified.
Hey, is anybody home? I've got the groceries.
All the way from California?
Huh? I'm so used to saying that I forgot. What are you two mental midgets up till now?
We're trying to figure something sensational for Mr. Harris to do so he can get publicity.
Yeah, but it's got to be dignified. Can you think of something, Julius?
Let's see. Sensational and yet dignified. I got it. Why don't you jump off the top of the Woolworth building?
What's dignified about that?
Wear a tuxedo.
Hey, I like that, Curly. Especially the tuxedo part. In case anything happens, you're all ready to be laid out.
Nothing's going to happen because I ain't going to do it.
Mr. Harris, you're yelling.
Mr. Abruzio, you're right.
But the way I got it figured out, nothing can happen to you. You and Mr. Remley go up to the top of the Woolworth building. Mr. Remley pushes you off, and I'll be down in the street to break your fall.
How you gonna break my fall?
I'll catch you in a paper bag.
What's the matter with you guys, anyway? Catch me in a paper bag. Want me to walk to Europe. It's a wonder you don't want me to do a jackknife off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Curly, that's it.
What's it?
Jump off the Brooklyn Bridge. Look at Steve Brody. 50 years ago, he jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge, and people still talk about him. If you make that jump, your name will live.
And if you're lucky, you might, too.
Shut up. Come here, Curly, I'll explain this to you. You don't really jump. I get up on top. I push a dummy off. You're waiting down below, and as soon as the dummy sinks in the water, you jump in, splash around, I pull you out, and you're a big man.
Big man, huh?
Sure.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But look, Frankie, the newspaper men ain't going to fall for this unless we get a lifelike dummy to push over. Now, where can we get a lifelike dummy? Julius, I want you to do me a favor.
Whatever do you have in mind, Mr. Harris?
Don't you know?
Yeah, but I want to see if you got the guts to ask me.
Now, look, Julius, you're my pal. All you got to do is to let us push you off the bridge, and it'll get me a lot of publicity. My name will be on every front page in the country. Well, the least you can do is to help a friend.
Would you jump off a bridge for me?
Of course I would.
Go ahead.
Julius, friends have to help each other without thinking of themselves.
I guess you're right, Mr. Harris. I'm being selfish. After all, since time immemorial, friends have sacrificed themselves for each other. They've given their lives so their pals might live on.
Then you'll do it?
Are you kidding?
Never mind, we'll get another dummy.
Hey, but Julius, you can help us.
Sure, as long as I get paid for my service.
All right, so I'll pay you later.
Look, Julius, your job is to push the dummy off the bridge. Flash a light so we know you dropped it, and we'll be down below to take care of the rest.
And look, Frankie, you call the newspapers and tell them to be at that bridge at exactly 11 o'clock.
Okay. Come on, Julius, you can get down and get the dummy.
Wait a minute, I didn't get paid yet. Mr. Harris, how about my services?
Let me know when they'll be held, and I'll be very happy to attend. Oh, boy, this will make Alice's publicity look sick. When this story breaks, I'll be famous the world over. Oh, Curly, sometimes you even kill me, you dove, you. Sing to me, will you, my pet? Sing it out.
The old master painter from the faraway hills painted the violets and the daffodils. He put the purple in the twilight haze, tended a rainbow for the rainy day. Dreamed up the murals on the blue summer skies, painted the devil in my darling's eyes, captured a dreamer with 1,000 thrills, the old master painter from the faraway hills. Then came his masterpiece, and when he was through, he smiled down from heaven and he gave me you. What a beautiful job on that wonderful day, the old master painter from the hills far away. He came from Europe on blue summer skies. He traced the love line in my darling's eyes. He put the purple in the twilight haze, tended a rainbow for the rainy day. Dreamed up the murals on the blue summer sky, painted that devil in my darling's eyes, captured a dreamer with 1,000 thrills, the old master painter from the faraway hills. Then came his masterpiece, and when he was through, he smiled down from heaven and he gave me you. What a beautiful job on that wonderful day. The old master painter from the hills far away, far away.
Hey, Curly, where'd you see the publicity you get on this? Well, the time's getting close. Don't forget, as soon as you see Julia's signal, jump off this dock into the river.
Frankie, I've been sitting here meditating.
Yeah?
Oh, kid, that river looks awful cold. Couldn't I jump in someplace else?
Where?
How about the heated pool at the Y?
Curly, stop stalling. It's almost time. The newspaper guys will be here any minute, so get ready. You only got 30 seconds.
Wait a minute, Remy. While I'm out there floundering around in that water, what are you going to be doing?
I'll get in the boat, row out, and pull you in.
What boat?
I knew I forgot something. But don't worry, I'll rent one later. All right, Curly, there's 25 seconds to go.
But you haven't got the boat.
20 seconds.
Frankie.
15 seconds.
Oh, Frankie.
Oh, here comes old Killjoy.
Hey, that's Alice. I'm over here, honey.
Oh, the newspaper man called and told me about your crazy plan. Phil, don't you dare jump in that water.
Here's the signal, Curly. Go ahead and jump.
Don't you do it, Phil.
Don't listen to her.
Let's listen to her. She might have a point. Keep talking, lady.
Hey, Curly, the dummy just went in. You've got to go in now.
But, Remley, I don't. Frankie, you pushed me. Oh.
Phil Harris, come out of there. You've got to come out of there.
Why?
You don't know how to swim.
Oh, now she tells me. Help! Help!
Oh, no. Now I'll have to go in and get him.
Oh, what happened? Where am I?
Back in the hotel room. Remember you jumped in the East River?
Oh, yeah. Hey, tell me quick. Is it in the newspapers?
Is it? You're mentioned on the front page of every paper in town.
Oh, good. Then it was worth it. Hey, read it to me, Frankie.
Okay, here you go. Alice Faye, famous screen star, saves unidentified man.
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. But first, here's your Rexall family druggist.
One of the most frequent questions I'm asked about Plenamons, Rexall's popular multivitamin capsules, is this. How are Rexall scientists able to guarantee that 2 Plenamon capsules a day give you more than your minimum daily requirement of every vitamin for which such requirements have been established, plus valuable liver concentrate and iron?
Well, they probably have some accurate way of measuring them.
You're right, my friend. Accurate and ingenious. Take, for instance, the spectrophotometer, which is used to determine the potency of vitamin A.
What did you call it?
Spectrophotometer. It's used to measure selected wavelengths of light.
But what has light to do with vitamin A?
Well, pure vitamin A will completely block the ultraviolet rays in a beam of light. So, when Rexall's men of science want to measure the amount or potency of vitamin A in a Plenamon's capsule, they place a solution of its contents in the spectrophotometer. Then ultraviolet rays are directed at this sample, and the amount which the sample will filter out or block is an accurate measurement of the vitamin A contained in the capsule.
You know, I'm beginning to understand what you family druggists are talking about when you tell us...
You can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall? Well, it's more than a slogan. It's a fact.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Folks, this is Phil Harris again. The Rexall Drug Company and our entire cast extend congratulations to the Boy Scouts of America, who are celebrating their 40th anniversary this week. 40 years of vital national service and character-building activity. This great youth organization is in the midst of its fundraising campaign. So be a good scout and give generously to the Boy Scouts. Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
This program is produced and directed by Paul Phillips. Included in today's cast were John Gibson, Doris Stockfield, and Jack Alderson. The part of Frankie Remley was played by Elliot Lewis, and Julius was played by Walter Tetley. Alice Faye appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox. Next week, we broadcast again from New York. If you're tormented by a cough these winter days, try Cherisote, Rexall's famous cough remedy. Ruby red, pleasant-tasting Cherisote goes after coughs in two ways. First, it soothes the raw and irritated membranes of your throat and bronchial tubes. Second, it helps loosen your cough. Remember, it's a good idea to see your doctor about a cough that hangs on. Ask for Cherisote at the store with the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
If you like good beer, you'll find it pays to be curious and learn about Schlitz for yourself. And now, the Halls of Ivy.
That surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far, far away.
Welcome again to Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. Dr. Hall, William Todhunter Hall, the president of Ivy, has problems shared by Mrs. Hall, the former Victoria Cromwell of the London stage. Problems not entirely curricular. Their immediate worry concerns the sudden and so far undiagnosed illness of a last night's dinner guest, Mr. Clarence Wellman, who's now recovering, everybody hopes, from an outrageously swollen nose in the extra bedroom.
Toddy, may I tell you something?
Of course, my dear. What is it?
You are the only man I know who can pace back and forth while sitting motionless in a chair.
Well, I'm worried, Victoria. Seeing the nose of the chairman of the Board of Governors turn a violent crimson immediately after he has dined as a guest in one's house is a privilege granted few college presidents. I say privilege in the sense that seeing the Grand Canyon at sunset is a privilege. Do you think Penny did something to his gluten bread?
There's nothing you can do to gluten bread. You either eat it or throw it away.
But Mr. Wellman's illness distresses me. He and I have clashed over policy ever since his election to the board, and he's almost certain now, consciously or unconsciously, to lay both his nose and his stomach squarely at my door.
Well, really?
Well, you know what I mean. Do you suppose he'll recover in time to participate in the Charter Day ceremony?
I doubt it. He'd never have stayed here all night unless he really felt awful, and his nose looked it. Couldn't you postpone it for a while?
Postpone the Charter Day ceremony?
Yes. Why must it begin precisely at 10 o'clock?
Well, for the same reason that the guards at Buckingham Palace wear those towering bearskins instead of our freshman beanies. It's traditional. It's been traditional for the Charter Day ceremony to begin at 10 ever since that morning back in 1640, when the governor of the colony granted a small group of pirates, smugglers, and slave dealers the right to found the college for the propagation of all virtues. Virtues which, by the way, if practiced by the founders, would have kept them much too poor to do anything of the sort. Now, I...
Lost the thread?
I seem to have lost the entire spool. Yes. I was discussing tradition. Now, I hold no brief for tradition as such, but there are some traditions which are valuable and should, I feel, be maintained. Especially in these days, when the notion prevails that the highest aim of all human endeavor is to guess correctly, for a fabulous prize, the name of some popular song. I also...
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, what is it, Penny?
A young man at the door. Says he's a photographer from some picture magazine.
Oh, yes. Have him come in.
Yes, sir.
A photographer?
Yes. The publishers phoned yesterday and asked if they could send someone to take pictures for an early issue. In addition to shots of the ceremony, they want a few of me. You know, the sort of thing, the president of Ivy having breakfast, donning his cap and gown, and... silly, of course, and a bother, but perhaps of value to the school.
Shall I leave?
Oh, no, not at all. I don't think you'll disturb him. He'll merely photograph me at this end of the room. Where are my cap and gown?
On the chair behind you.
Do I look all right?
Like the very model of a college president.
Dr. Hall?
Yes, good morning.
I'm Luther Bland of Exposure Magazine.
Of course. How do you do? Victoria, may I introduce Mr. Bland? Mr. Bland?
Vicky Cromwell, isn't it?
Well, yes. Well, that is, I was before you.
I was in love with you once for a whole week.
How nice.
When you entertained the troops at Anzio. Oh, you don't remember me, of course, but I can still hear you singing, "Cool Ain't I the One, though."
Mr. Bland, I was thinking that if you did come here to take pictures...
Oh, yes, sir.
Perhaps one of me is standing here, near the window.
Would you mind raising the blind, sir, for a bit more light?
Yes, sir. Now, how's that?
Swell. Now, Mrs. Hall, if I could trouble you for a smile.
Like this?
Yes. Dr. Hall, you're throwing a shadow on her. Perhaps if you stood behind me.
Oh, yes, of course.
Good. Now, hold it, Mrs. Hall.
Now, this might make a good one. One of me sitting at the table.
Mrs. Hall, I'd like one of you... Well, one of you with your eyes sort of crinkling above the rim of the coffee cup.
How's this?
Dr. Hall.
Yes?
If you held back the curtain, there would be a better highlight in her hair. Good. But stand back a bit further or you'll be in the frame.
Yes, we mustn't have that, must we?
A bit more crinkle, Mrs. Hall. Good.
That's a very nice camera you have.
I even remember the dress you wore at Anzio.
Well, it was intended that everyone should.
I used to own a camera.
We remembered you all right, Mrs. Hall. The dress and everything in it.
I'm very flattered, Mr. Bland.
It was a Brownie box camera. First prize for Sunday school attendance.
Sort of hold up the coffee pot, Mrs. Hall, as though you were about to pour. That's it.
Had a little carrying strap, I remember.
Now, Dr. Hall.
Yes?
How about one of you?
Well, you have any film left,
Well, one of you with Mrs. Hall. Now, let's see now. Suppose she sort of fixes your tie.
Oh, like this?
Exactly. I think I'll shoot it over Dr. Hall's shoulder. No, don't turn your head around to me, sir. Look at her.
Yeah, well, if I may suggest a caption, the former Miss Victoria Crumble, star of English stage and friend.
Well, I think that will give me all we need on this angle.
Really? All you need.
Mm-hmm. Now, sir, can you tell me something about the ceremony itself so I'll have an idea on how to plan my shots?
Well, at 9:55, there will be a knock at my front door.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a messenger from the chief proctor. Customarily, the messenger is the youngest member of the student body.
Who is it this year?
A prodigy named Merton Savada, who is, I believe, not quite 14.
A freshman at 13?
No, not a freshman. He is at present working for his master's degree. He took his A.B. at Columbia last year. Then, at 10 o'clock, the procession will come to a halt in front of this house. And the chief proctor will knock upon the door 3 times with his staff of office. Your readers may be interested in a picture of that staff, because picture magazines do have readers, don't they?
I think some of our subscribers can read.
Yes. Well, the proctor's staff was fashioned from the limb of a walnut tree.
Mm-hmm.
Sent as a gift by the University of Paris and brought to this country by Benjamin Franklin. At the knock, I open the door and, accompanied by the chairman of the board, stand on the front steps. At our appearance, a tenor soloist sings Gaudium Exigiter a cappella.
It's really very impressive, Mr. Bland. I get a lump in my throat every time I see it.
Well, then the chairman of the board takes his place at the head of the procession and leads it to the chapel. I follow. Once there, several hymns, a few speeches, the reading of the charter, and it's all over.
Well, it sounds most interesting, Doctor. Thanks very much for your help, sir. I'll be going over to the North Gate now.
Yes, I hope I didn't spoil any of your pictures by getting my shadow into them.
I don't think so. I was pretty careful. Goodbye, Mrs. Hall. Wonderful to have seen you again.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, what a nice young man. How well you describe the charter day, Toddy. There's so many things that puzzle me about these school ceremonies. You always manage to make them so clear.
Well, thank you, but what sort of things, Vicky?
Well, for instance, why is it that ceremony where you award the diplomas called commencement when it always comes at the end of the school year?
That's a very good question.
I thought so.
Well, commencement, as everyone knows. You know, Vicky, I have a theory about Mr. Wellman's nose. I suspect that it's the result of simple, ordinary stage fright.
Stage fright?
Yes. I think that he is so terrified at making his speech at the Charter Day ceremonies that his subconscious mind has come rushing to his aid with a geranium effect on his nose. He wants to be excused from speaking and doesn't even realize it.
Well, I certainly know a lot of ways to treat stage fright.
For example?
Well, it's all a matter of psychology. Every actress is a practicing psychologist, you know, whether she knows it or not.
Yes, but in Mr. Wellman's case...
In Mr. Wellman's case, we must first make up our minds that we will simply ignore his nose.
That's quite a hurdle, Victoria. A bit like asking a traveling architect to ignore the Taj Mahal.
Nevertheless, dear, we must not concentrate on the very thing we're trying to relieve. In his case, his nose.
What do we concentrate on? If I may end a sentence with a preposition, and in my own home, I think I may.
We must not refer to his nose. We must build up his confidence in himself with praise. We must say nice things to him. What can we say nice about Mr. Wellman?
Can you give me a few minutes on that?
Certainly, dear.
Now, let me see. I have never seen him actually kick a dog.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Before we return to the halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman, let's visit a psychology professor on another campus. He wants to tell you how scientific curiosity led him to make a pleasant discovery.
Well, I'm a professor, all right, but not the absent-minded variety. This is somewhat of a disappointment to my wife and 2 daughters who would like nothing better than a good excuse for directing my activities. As it is, they do pretty well without one. After last semester, for example, they packed me off to a dude ranch for a vacation. My instructions were to forget psychology and experiments. I tried. But the very first day, circumstances forced me to conduct what I like to call my favorite unsuccessful experiment. I was watching a group of guests come in from a horseback ride. It was hot that day, and they were tired and dusty, but our host seemed to know just what to do. He hustled out cool bottles of beer. Schlitz, I noticed from the labels. This beer was greeted with smiles of welcome that changed to looks of pleasure as the guests drank. I began wondering, as a psychologist, mind you, what there was about Schlitz to cause such a marked reaction of pleasure. So I tasted Schlitz, and my experiment collapsed. How could I maintain my scientific attitude when I wanted so hard to concentrate on the famous Schlitz flavor? I waited till next day to try another glass, and again had the same wonderful reaction. Now that I'm home, I keep my own supply of Schlitz. Of course, I'm no longer experimenting. I drink Schlitz for the pleasure it gives me. And when I serve it to my friends and I see the looks of satisfaction on their faces, I can't help thinking to myself, no wonder they call Schlitz the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Surround us here today.
Now that Dr. Hall has had a few minutes to think of some redeeming feature of Mr. Wellman's character and to remember not to concentrate on his nose, maybe he... No, too late. Here's the subject himself.
Good morning, Mr. Wellman.
Good morning, Mr. Wellman.
Good morning to you both.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you. Is there something amiss with my necktie? You both keep staring at me.
No. It's a very handsome necktie. I was admiring it.
Thank you. My daughter gave it to me. I have always believed she has excellent taste.
Oh, her good taste is quite obvious, Mr. Wellman. As plain, in fact, as the...
As the shoes on your feet.
That's rather an odd simile.
I do hope you're feeling better this morning.
I'm still a bit queasy.
Oh, that's too bad. I wonder if you'd care to try a rather old remedy many people I know have used with much success.
I would be grateful for almost anything.
Well, what did you have in mind, Victoria?
Have we any shingle nails, William?
Shingle nails?
Shingle nails? Isn't that a rather ridiculous...
Never mind. Let it go. I knew you'd think it was ridiculous, Mr. Wellman.
No, Mrs. Hall, I'm sorry. Tell me, I don't care if this idea was suggested by a Hindu voodoo man. You were saying something about shingle nails. How do I eat them?
No, you don't eat them, Mr. Wellman. You place the point of the nail against your left thumb, put the head of the nail against your right thumb, and think about something else for 5 minutes. Will you go get a shingle nail, William?
Well, don't just stand there, Dr. Hall. Get her a shingle nail.
A shingle nail? Yes. I'll see if I can find one.
Thank you, dear. Now, please sit down, Mr. Wellman.
Thank you. No, I'm too restless, Mrs. Hall. This shingle nail thing. I've often wondered just how much scientific basis there was for some of our odd superstitions. Perhaps this shingle nail business has some magnetic property that, now steel now, an electric, a negative, and a positive, and all that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
I'm sorry, Vicky, but I couldn't find a shingle nail. But here's a horseshoe nail. Would that do?
Wonderful, William. Simply wonderful. It really takes a horseshoe nail. I had no idea there was one in the house. But I think a shingle nail is a good thing to have in reserve, just in case. Take another look, will you, please?
Yes, I'll be very glad to.
That's a dear.
I think I know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Well, let me take the nail, Mrs. Hall. Now, how do I hold it? Like this?
No. The point against the left thumb. That's it. Now, the head against the right thumb. Now, just hold it. We just talk. Get your mind off it.
What shall we talk about?
Oh, the weather, television, stock market, your speech. That's it. Your speech. What did you plan to say at the Charter Day ceremony, Mr. Wellman?
Well, I open by saying, ladies and gentlemen.
That's very good, very good.
It is?
Of course it is. Because after all, the people you're talking to are ladies and gentlemen. Now, keep the point of the nail against your left thumb.
Oh, yes. It struck me as being a rather good way to start.
Oh, yes, 'tis. Now, keep the head against the right thumb. See, that's it. Now, then what do you say?
And then I say, we are gathered here today.
Ah, that's nice. Uh-huh.
You like that, Mrs. Hall?
Yes, I do, Mr. Wellman. After all, it is today, and they will be gathered there. It has something of the truth and simplicity of the Gettysburg Address. And then how does your speech go, Mr. Wellman?
And then I say, we are gathered here today to honor the men and women who, by their noble deeds and humility...
William, the door.
Yes, dear, I heard it.
But that's your cue.
Yes.
And you're on.
Vicky, I may be on, but I'd prefer to have the reminder couched in slightly more formal terms. This is an occasion of some importance.
May I go with you?
Of course.
Well, I'll just stand here off stage and watch.
Well, that's funny, I thought.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, there you are, down there.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Master Scholar.
It is my pleasure, sir, as well as my duty to inform you that I bear a message from the Chief Proctor.
What is the message, Master Scholar?
Sir, the faculty and the students escorting the charter bearing the seal of the colony are approaching.
Thank you, Master Scholar, and good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Now, shouldn't you be getting ready?
Well, the procession will take a little time to get here, but I should get started.
Let me help you on with your robe, Toddy. Now, there, that's it. Oh, you do look pretty.
Thank you, my dear. Where is Mr. Wellman? Has your medicine cured him?
I think so. He told me so himself. Oh, he wouldn't miss the boat. Not that I'm against boat missing. In fact, darling, I like people who miss boats.
Well, if that's a personal reference, my dear, missing a boat was the most intelligent thing I ever did. The young Professor Hall on board ship, with only a few minutes remaining of his 5 months sabbatical in England. His last few dollars invested in a passage from Southampton back home to New York. And his emotions invested in a beautiful actress whom he would probably never see again.
William, dear, that's the last going ashore warning.
Yes, I know.
And I haven't got a ticket. So if you don't mind letting go of me, I'd better be...
Oh, that can't possibly be the last warning. They must give several. Good heavens, they don't expect people to dash aboard, hand somebody a basket of fruit and dash off again. Oh, Vicky,
I wish they'd play something a little less sentimental, don't you?
Yes.
It's difficult enough to wish a friend goodbye on New Year's Eve. Without underscoring it like that.
Oh, I hate saying goodbye to you anywhere at any time, Victoria. Oh, mere words at times like these.
I haven't many words either, William. About 3, in fact. Little ones.
3 little words? For me? Vicky, you don't mean...
Yes. I'll miss you.
Oh. Oh, yes. That is 3 words, isn't it? You know, it's going to be hard to concentrate on my work when I get back to the United States.
I like that.
I'll forever be thinking such thoughts as, this is Monday. It was on a Monday that Victoria and I drove to Stratford to see Shakespeare's home.
And stop for buns at Banbury Cross on the way.
And on Tuesday, it was a Tuesday that Victoria and I visited Madame Tussaud's waxworks.
Yeah, and you tried to tip the wax doorman.
Yes. And on a Thursday, oh, Vicky, I wish we had it all to do over again.
Perhaps we can. Sometime soon.
I'm afraid not soon, dear. Professors don't get sabbaticals every year.
I know. But the play I'm in might be produced in New York.
When? Has it been... Did you... Has anything been said about it?
No, but something's going to be.
Oh, good. Vicky.
Yes?
Will you remember the address I gave you and write to me?
Yes. Of course I will, dear. I promise. And if you let go my hands, I'll cross my heart.
I don't want to let you go, Vicky. Ever.
William, dear, I must leave.
Yes, I know. Vicky, Vicky, I love you very much. Will you marry me?
Oh, you know I will. I thought you were going to leave without asking me.
I almost did. Oh, darling, darling. What's that? Oh, it's the steward. Yes, steward, take my luggage ashore. I'm not sailing. Come on, Vicky.
William, dear, it's Mr. Wellman.
Oh, good. He's just in time. I say, Wellman, take these bags off the ship. I'm taking the next one. Hurry now. That's a good chap.
No, William. It's Mr. Wellman, our guest.
Well, why doesn't he take the luggage, eh? Well, our guest.
Were you talking about me, Dr. Hall? And what? Luggage?
What luggage? Did I say... Oh, it's you, Mr. Wellman. I'm sorry.
William, where have you been?
I'm afraid I was a little bit at sea, my dear. Or almost. I'm sorry, Mr. Wellman. It was, Oh, good heavens. What's happened to your nose? It looks like a nose again.
It doesn't, though, doesn't it? That's exactly what it looks like. That's a remarkable remedy you possess, Mrs. Hall. Horseshoe nail. Remarkable, entirely remarkable. And may I say, Dr. Hall, that your robe is extremely becoming?
Thank you.
I hope mine has as fine a drape.
I see no reason why it shouldn't.
You'll be in the ceremony, Mr. Wellman.
Oh, of course. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Going to read a speech. Darn good speech, too. Dictated myself. Reminded Mrs. Hall of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
Oh, I'm delighted. Here, let me help you on with your gown.
Thank you.
There it is. Our caps, if you please, Victoria. Thank you. Are you ready, sir?
I am. My arm, Mrs. Hall. All ready, Doctor.
What are you thinking, Toddy?
What I always think when I hear that song. Socrates questioning the Athenian youth. Renaissance students obtaining licenses to beg their way through college. Dr. Einstein playing his violin, safe on the campus at Princeton instead of being a bit of charred bone at Buchenwald or Auschwitz. Sir Francis Bacon catching the cold from which he died by stuffing a fowl with snow to test the theory of refrigeration. And astronomers alone in observatories on cold and starry nights. And the inscription carved above the library entrance, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free." Vicky, look. There goes Wellman. What the devil was that shingle nonsense you gave him?
Well, it isn't nonsense if it works, dear. And it did work. Look at him. See how he's squared his shoulders. I just gave him back a little self-confidence, and his nose deflated like a great big red inner tube. It was fascinating.
I imagine it was. Why don't you ever give me a treatment like that?
You don't need it, Toddy.
Oh, I'm not so sure of that today. I'm afraid this speech of mine is a trifle weak.
Your speeches are never weak. How does it go?
Well, I begin by saying, honored visitors, governors, gentlemen of the faculty, and students.
Splendid.
You think so?
Yes, perfect. How does it go from there?
Well, then I say, having but recently been reappointed as president of Ivy College...
Oh, William, that's wonderful. Because you were just recently appointed. Go on.
It is my considered opinion that in the ensuing semester, the plans which we have formed... You know, maybe this speech is better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, after that, I say...
Yes, dear?
You can even do it without a nail, can't you?
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
And here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
You know, my dear, your choice of that horseshoe nail I thought was very silly at first, but I'm beginning to regard it as being richly symbolic.
Symbolic? For what, for goodness sake?
Well, of Mr. Wellman's being continually underfoot. Did I ever recite my little verse on superstition? I rather fancied myself as a poet when quite young.
Go on. I'd love to hear it.
Well, to the best of my memory, it went, from ancient days the symbols came. The sign, the amulet, the charm, the seal, the ring, the coin, a name to conjure with and shield from harm. Faith in and dread of all these things is one of man's great racial quirks. But down through time the question rings, why scorn the gimmick if it works?
Oh, darling, I do think that's wonderful. But is it just superstition when it works? Do you mean that?
Vicky, that's why poets live in inaccessible garrets, so no one can ask them what they mean. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. The other players were Herbert Butterfield, Gloria Gordon, Peter Leeds, and Henry Blair. Tonight's script was written by Walter Brown Newman and Don Quinn. Our music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn, directed by Nat Wolf, and presented by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ken Carpenter speaking.
Oh, we love the halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far, far away.
Next, hear We the People over most of these same NBC stations.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colgate Dental Cream presents The Dennis Day Show, written by Frank Galen, with Paula Winslow, Dink Trout, John Brown, Charles Dant in the orchestra, yours truly, Vern Smith, and starring our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Twice a day and before every date, use Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. In answer to many requests, here's Dennis with the famous old Scotch song, The Wig Wag Wiggle of the Kilt.
I'll never forget the day I went and joined the 93rd. The chums I used to run with said they thought I looked absurd. They saluted me and gathered me in a ring, and as they wagged me tarta kilt, they all began to sing. He's the bra, heel and laddie, Private Jock McKay. There's not another soldier like him in the Scotch Brigade. Reared among the heather, you can see he's Scottish built. By the wiggle, waggle of the kilt. I am telling you, there's nothing like the skill of the bagpipes and the wiggle of the kilt. I'll never forget the day we were ordered on review. The king came down to see us and the queen was with too. As I marched by the royal coach, the king just shook his head. The queen put on her royal specs and looked at me and said, "He's the bro, Highland laddie, Private Jock Brigade. There's not another soldier like him in the Scotch Brigade. There among the heather, oh, you can see he's Scottish built by the wiggle, waggle out of the kilt. Oh, dear, he's too happily. Savage of Brigade. There's not another soldier like him in the Scotch Brigade. Reared among the heather, you can see he's Scottish built. By the wig, wiggle, waggle of the cute. By the wig, wag, a wiggly wiggle of the kilt. Hoot, man!
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning your teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate Dental Cream instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate Dental Cream is preferred for flavor over other brands tested. So try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy. And use Colgate Dental Cream twice a day and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, some months ago, when it first became apparent that our young hero Dennis Day and Mildred Anderson were serious about each other, his landlady, Mrs. Anderson, felt that Dennis wasn't good enough for her daughter. That opinion of Mrs. Anderson's has been altered somewhat by time. She now feels he isn't good enough for anyone's daughter. Mrs. Anderson has never been a woman of patience, and this morning she finally ran out of the little she had. So, without further ado, she summoned her cuter half to her side.
Herbert?
Yes, Angel Eyes.
I've decided this ridiculous romance between our daughter and that day boy has gone far enough. We're going to put a stop to it.
But, Poopsie, they're crazy about each other. Why, just the way we were at their age.
They're infatuated and nothing more.
Well, haven't you noticed the way he looks at her? Just like I used to look at you. With love and respect and desire and fear.
I've heard enough, Herbert. You're going to Dennis today and tell him he must give Mildred up.
Oh, Poopsie, I just can't. It's too cruel.
Oh, nonsense.
Well, now, suppose someone had broken up our marriage. What would I have today? No ties of any kind. Out every night in the week with a different... Well, maybe you're right. I'll talk to the boy. Dennis, my boy?
Yes, sir?
I have a message for you from headquarters.
What does she say?
It's been decided that when Mildred gets married, she must be supported in the style to which she is accustomed.
Gee, that's swell. We'll be very happy to live here.
Afraid you don't understand, my boy. Mrs. Anderson doesn't want you and Mildred to see each other anymore.
Not see each other anymore?
No.
But Mildred and I want to get married and have a home of our own and 3 or 4 children. It wouldn't be easy under those conditions.
I know, but you see, my wife feels that you're not making enough money at present.
Enough money for what?
Well, name it and you're not making enough.
Well, it's true that I use the simplified form for my income tax.
It is indeed. Gosh, you know, I hate to see you and Mildred break up, son, but you're making only $8 a week, and, well,
Yeah, I know.
You've asked Mr. Willoughby for a raise down at the drugstore, I suppose.
Sure, lots of times. He gets very upset. His eyes pop out and he starts to shake.
Oh, that isn't good for him.
It isn't good for me either. I'm what he shakes.
Well, let's think a minute. Now, when I was contemplating marriage, my boss let me invest in his business.
You mean he let you come in as a partner?
Yes. Unfortunately, the deal turned out very badly financially, but Pupsy married me anyway.
Gee, you got it coming and going, didn't you?
Yes, I feel that a partnership in the drugstore is the only solution, Dennis. Now, suppose you sound out Mr. Willoughby today on putting $100 into his business.
Suppose he sounds me out on what $100?
Well, let's worry about that after you speak to Mr. Willoughby. You've got to try it, son. After all, you and Mildred have been going together for 7 months. You don't want to end up going together for 7 years, do you?
Gosh, no. We might forget what we started out for. I'll talk to Mr. Willoughby this morning. Mr. Willoughby?
Yes, Dennis?
I've been thinking.
On company time, use your lunch hour for that kind of nonsense.
But, Mr. Willoughby, this is important. What would you say if I told you I wanted to invest some money in your business?
Some money?
Uh-huh.
My boy! My dear, dear boy! Here, have a cigar.
Oh, thank you, sir.
How much money? 5,000? 3,000? 2,000? 1,000?
You're going in the right direction, but not fast enough.
Well, how much do you want to invest?
$100.
$100?
Here, have a cigar.
Thank you. Back to work, my boy.
Well, it was worth a try. I thought I could get my pay and a share of the profits instead of drawing a salary.
Wait a minute. Instead of drawing a salary?
Yes, sir.
Son, this is the time to invest in a sound business. Things are booming today like never before in history.
Really? Why, yesterday I heard you tell a customer business was never worse.
Well, you've got to expect little fluctuations from day to day.
Oh.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Dennis. For $100, I'll give you 3% of this drugstore's net profit.
Oh, boy, what'll that come to?
Well, if business picks up a little, nearly $7 a week.
Mr. Willoughby, I don't consider this a great step forward.
Well, Dennis, you don't want to be a wage slave all your life, do you?
I didn't, but it's beginning to look better to me now.
But a partnership doesn't mean only money, son. It means prestige. Can I ever say to you again, Dennis, sweep out this store?
No, sir.
No. From now on, it'll have to be, partner, sweep out this store.
Yes, sir, that's true.
Of course. I'll go back to my office right now and draw up a paper covering the whole thing. See you later, dear partner.
Gee, I wonder if I'm doing the right thing. Every once in a great while I don't. But for $100, I ought to be getting more than...
Dennis.
Oh, hello, Mildred.
Daddy told me you were going to talk to Mr. Willoughby about a partnership. Did you?
Yeah, he's inside now drawing it up.
Oh, Dennis, how wonderful. At last you've taken your first step in the business world. And who knows where it'll end?
It can't go far. 7 more steps and I'll starve to death.
What do you mean?
Well, it turns out that partners get less money than wage slaves.
But, Dennis, you can't back out now. It's an investment in your future. Don't you want to prove to people that you're a man?
Well, I think I ought to let them rely on circumstantial evidence.
But don't you realize this partnership is our only chance? Mother won't let us see each other again if you don't take it.
But I don't even know where to get the $100.
Well, you could try the bank. They lend money to anybody who's considered a good risk, or even a fair risk.
Yeah, but I'm classified as foolhardy.
You're nothing of the kind. Go down to the bank and see Mr. Courtney personally, and tell him you want a loan.
Well, okay, I'll go. But I have a terrible premonition, a horrible feeling that somehow this is going to lead to another of my normal days.
A loan, Mr. Day.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Now, as 2 businessmen, let's talk about your collateral.
Okay, but we're liable to lose one of our businessmen.
Oh, come. You must have some sort of security, Mr. Day. Do you own a car, a house, some sort of property?
No, sir.
Anything of value at all?
I have a Boy Scout knife.
That's hardly adequate. However, we might possibly base the loan on your weekly earnings.
Better take the Boy Scout knife.
I see. Well, Mr. Day, do you think you could write the bank a note?
Oh, yes, sir. Is it its birthday or something?
I mean a promissory note.
Oh, one of those.
Yes, one of those.
What are they?
Today I'm a very busy man. Suppose you leave your name and address, and if we don't get in touch with you very soon, it won't surprise me.
But, Mr. Courtney, really,
Please, Mr. Day, come in someday when I haven't quite so many personal troubles on my mind, but not today.
Oh, yes, sir. I guess you mean about your daughter and that French count. I read about it in the paper.
Yes, my daughter thinks she's in love with him. My own daughter losing her head over a pony like that. You know him?
No, sir, not personally. But I see him in the hardware store every once in a while buying stuff for his hair.
Stuff for his hair in a hardware store?
He uses Johnson's Glow Coat.
Yes, he would.
Mr. Courtney, I don't get many good ideas, but I think I've thought of one. Now, you'd give a lot to see that romance broken up, wouldn't you?
Anything in this world. Anything. Anything I ever had or hoped to have.
Would you give $150?
110 is my top offer. Well, what have you got in mind?
Well, suppose another foreign nobleman was to come along, say a Spanish duke, and win your daughter away from this French count.
But then I'd be just as bad off as I am now.
Not if the Spanish duke was me, and after I got her, I dropped her like a hot potato.
By George, Day, you have brains.
It does sound like it today, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a great idea, my boy. A wealthy Spanish nobleman. Just perfect for a little gold digger like my daughter.
I won't fail you, sir.
Oh, I'm certain of it, son. Here's $110 in cash. Spend what you have to and keep the rest.
Gosh, what a roll. Wow. Gee, Andrew Jackson. I always wondered whose picture was on a $20 bill.
Yes?
Senorita Courtney, permit me myself to introduce. I am...
Oh, of course. My father told me you were going to call on me. You're His Highness the Duke Ricardo Alvarez y Velasquez y Ramon de los Trujillo. Am I pronouncing it right?
If you are not, who is going to?
Well, do come in, Your Highness. Or may I call you by your first name?
Oh, see. Pick out anyone you like.
Oh, Ricardo, you're making fun of me.
You keep thinking that, no matter what anybody says.
You're cute. And Daddy tells me you're just enormously wealthy.
Oh, see. I am loaded.
I could tell when I saw the lovely bouquet you sent. A great many pesos went into it.
I told the girl only roses and gardenias. She must have put them in by mistake.
Ricardo, you silly boy. You're making fun of me again.
It was only a question of time.
Oh, I think you're just adorable. Did my father happen to mention to you anything about me being engaged?
Oh, see, to a man, I think he said.
Yes, but I think we can forget about him. You're so much nicer and richer.
Oh, see, I am the white sheep of my family.
Yes, isn't it wonderful? And you know, Ricardo, since I've been going out with the Count, Dad's cut off my allowance.
Huh?
There are any number of little things I'd love. That is, if you...
Oh, say no more about it. We'll go down to the 5 and 10 and run amok. Right up to $10.
Oh, Ricardo, you're adorable. That's the best joke yet.
This time I hoped I had missed.
There's the cutest little shop in Middletown. You especially will just adore it. We'll drive over.
But, Senorita, really, I don't think
Oh,
we should...
don't be silly. I don't object to your generosity in the least. That's the prerogative of royalty.
See. Huh?
Come on now, you can tell me all about your subjects in Spain as we walk to the car.
My subjects?
Yes. What are they like?
Oh, the same as here. History, chemistry, algebra.
Ricardo, you darling. Well, this is it, Ricardo, the shop I was telling you about. Look at the sign.
Senora Carmen Fernandez of Madrid. Genuine Spanish laces and... Miss Courtney, I don't like this place. I think it's run by foreigners.
Of course, you can talk to the senora in her native tongue.
This I am inclined to doubt.
Oh, silly. Come on. Senora Carmen, look what I brought you. A countryman of yours. A real duke.
I am glad for to meet you, Senora. But for the sake of the young lady, don't you think we should speak only English?
You're so right. Talking Spanish. Now, don't mind me at all. You two have a nice chat in your native language. Really? We don't wanna. I absolutely insist on it. Well, you better go first, Duke.
Managua, Nicaragua, La Coloma, Seduma, Senora.
San Luis Obispo de los Xavier Cougar, Tijuana.
Oh, si.
My, what a beautiful liquid tongue Spanish is.
Si. Senora Carmen and I understand each other, I think.
I'll say. Now let's get back to English. Would you like to see some merchandise, dearie? Yes, there are. There are a few little things I could use. Oh, I got some lovely things in, dearie. Look, isn't this a gorgeous negligee? Oh, it is. May I have it, Ricardo? The Duke is going to pay for it? Oh, yes. This gives me pause. Cash or check, Duke?
Well, how much is it?
$125.
Oh, cash, of course. What's $1.25 to me? I got millions.
The price of the negligee happens to be $125.
Huh?
Wrap it up, Senora. Give her the money, Ricardo.
But
Give it to her, Ricardo.
But all I have here is 110, I'm sure.
Oh, well, that'll do fine, thanks. And I'll deliver it tonight. Oh, thank you, darling. And I'll have her deliver it to you so you can give it to me tonight in person. Dennis?
See, but I... Who?
Oh, silly, I knew you all along. You're Dennis Day, the soda clerk in Willoughby's drugstore. You pretended to be a Spanish nobleman to meet me. Because you're in love with me.
Me? Oh, no, you're wrong, Miss Courtney. You're making a revolting development positively repulsive.
Don't try to hide it, Dennis. I knew when you bought that expensive negligee for me. I think you're the sweetest boy I've ever met. I'll never let you go again. Ever.
Well, Dennis, my boy, I guess there's only one thing for you to do. Drop dead.
Oh, my gosh, Dennis. And this Courtney girl's coming over here tonight?
Yeah, Mildred, and she said she'll never let go of me.
Oh, we've got to think of something. And fast.
Women. That's the trouble with this world. There's too many of them. If a person isn't a man, he's got to be a woman. There ought to be a third choice.
Wait a minute. Women. Suppose you convinced her that you couldn't be true to her. That you're a regular devil with the women.
Isn't there some idea that's less fantastic?
Oh, you can do it, Dennis. Don't you see? I'll come to the door with a telegram or something. And you pretend I'm a stranger and make violent love to me. When she sees how fickle you are, she'll never speak to you again.
Well, I'll try it, Mildred. And if it doesn't work, drop down to the bank and see me sometime. I'll be the third vice president from the left. Miss Courtney?
Yes, darling.
There's something I feel you should know. I could never be true to you. I believe in polygamy.
What?
Yeah. Strictly the gay life for me. Night after night. Nightclubs, parties, drinking champagne out of ladies' slippers. First removing the ladies, of course.
You mean you're girl crazy?
Yeah. I wouldn't be good for you, child. I'm just an old teabag in the cup of romance. I've been dunked too often.
I don't believe one word of this nonsense.
Honest. I fall in love with every woman I meet. I just... Watch. This'll prove it. Wait till you see what happens to me when I see this girl. Come in. Ah, my dream girl. Stand there. Just let me look at you. Don't move from that spot.
So who's moving?
Oh, you. Dream girl, I'm mad about you. I can't live without you. I can't.
Force yourself.
Don't you understand? I'm mad about you.
Look, here's your negligee and stay off the stuff, will you? It'll knock your brains out.
See what happens to me, Miss Courtney? And with every girl I see.
But you saw Senora Carmen this afternoon and nothing happened.
I know. It's that night that the beast walks. There's another girl. Probably a telegram or something. But it'll happen again. You'll see. Come in. My dream girl. Stand there. Just let me look at you. Don't move from that spot.
Dennis Day, have you gone crazy?
No, ma'am. I love you madly. Here's my arms, Dreamboat. Make for it.
What?
Don't try to fight it, kid.
Kid?
Come on, let's pitch through. Bet I can pitch it faster than you can catch it.
I've heard enough, Dennis Day. I never want to see you again.
Come here, young man.
Wait, Mrs. Anderson. Wait.
Telegram for Dennis Day.
Mr. Day will be busy for a few minutes. Shove it under the door. Now, wait a minute. You stay where you are, and I'll shove Mr. Day under the door.
Mrs. Anderson, please. Wait, that's my nose you're pulling. Wait.
Dennis Day will be back in just a moment with a song. But first, here's a fact worth knowing. Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. And that's important, as our Colgate players are going to demonstrate for you. Our Colgate curtain goes up on a girl and a boy. The boy is having trouble, and he doesn't like it.
Doggone it, honey. How come you treat me like you do? You get me thinking things are solid with us, and then you quick freeze me like I was a raspberry.
Well, don't blame me. It's your own fault, Jim.
Then why not tell me what it is? Come on, honey child, name it.
Not me. On account of it's just too grim. But your dentist would name it, and he'd tell you what to do, Jim.
And here's what Jim found out. Scientific tests have proved that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate Dental Cream instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. What's more, Colgate Dental Cream's safe polishing agent brings out the natural sparkle of your teeth, cleans them thoroughly and safely. Yes, Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. And Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. In fact, nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate Dental Cream is preferred for flavor over other brands tested. So, to clean your teeth thoroughly and safely, for a wake-up flavor everyone enjoys, use Colgate Dental Cream. Remember, Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. With Charles Dant and his orchestra, here's Dennis to sing his latest RCA Victor recording, Mamselle.
Just like wine does, no heart ever yearned the way that mine does for you. And yet I know too well someday you'll say goodbye. Then violins will cry and so will I, Mamselle. the night and by. A kiss became a sigh. Your lovely eyes seem to sparkle just like wine does. No heart ever yearned the way that mine does for you. And yet I know too well someday you'll say goodbye. Then violins will cry and
Dennis Day can be heard with Jack Benny every Sunday. And be sure to be with us again next week for another Dennis Day program. More songs, more adventures in the life of our star, Dennis Day. Meanwhile, be sure to use Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Lovely Joan Bennett is another famous Hollywood star to rave over Cashmere Bouquet, Beau Cake, the new cake makeup sensation. Joan Bennett says, I'm wild over Cashmere Bouquet, Beau Cake. So clever, so practical, with the makeup sponge in its own moisture-proof compartment right in the compact. Yes, Cashmere Bouquet, Beau Cake, for the first time brings the makeup sponge right inside the case. Buy the new cake makeup sensation, Cashmere Bouquet, Beau Cake, at cosmetic counters today. Housewives know only too well how every penny counts these days, and here's an easy way to add more to your shopping budget. Dealers are now paying higher prices for used fats than ever before, so save used cooking fats and oils, turn them in for cash. Remember, too, industry urgently needs fats and oils to help produce soap, automobiles, refrigerators, all the things you want and need. What's more, the shortage of fats and oils is a worldwide problem. So for your own good, use and reuse fats and oils as often as you can. When they're no longer usable, save them in tin cans and turn them into your dealer.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
From Hollywood, Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle presents the Mel Blanc Show. Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you the Mel Blanc Show with Mary Jane Croft, Earl Ross, Dee Benaderet, Leora Thatcher, Zookie, and Victor Miller and his orchestra. You've heard Mel Blanc as the happy postman.
Hello, Mrs. Burns. Here's your mail. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
You've heard him as the famous train caller.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
You've heard him as the lovable character Zookie.
Well, in the fix-it shop, I'm the president. I'm the vice president. I'm the treasurer. I sweep out the place.
You've heard him as the famous Warner Brothers cartoon character Bugs Bunny.
What's up, guy?
Now hear him as the star in his own show.
Hello, Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop. You bend it, we mend it.
Say, folks, does your vacuum cleaner bick when it should vac? Does your clock tock when it should tick? Well, why not bring them to Mel Blanc, who can make anything work? Except his Uncle Rupert. We find Mel on the phone.
Hello, Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop. You bend it, we mend it. Recharge your storage battery? Oh, the battery in your hothouse. For the plants. Oh, I won't forget. I'm making a note of it right now. Put amps in plants. Goodbye.
Say, nephew, I hope you haven't forgotten we're all going to the county fair tomorrow.
Gosh, no, Uncle Rupert.
Why, Zookie here is starting to dress up for it already.
Suki, where did you get that high, stiff collar? It's 8 inches high if it's an inch.
Yes, my lad. It can't possibly be comfortable.
Oh, it's comfortable, all right. You see, it doesn't bother me a bit. But every time I hiccup, my head disappears.
Oh, for the love of heaven.
Look, Uncle, here comes Betty. Take Zuki in the back of the shop and get that thing off his neck, huh?
Yes, come on, Zuki. Come on.
Hello, Betty.
Oh, Mel, I'm so excited about the county fair tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah. Gee, I hope we have as much fun as we did last year. Hey, remember the Tunnel of Love?
Uh-huh.
Betty, this time let's get seats together.
Silly. But, Mel, tomorrow I think I may have a surprise for you.
Surprise?
Yes, what would you say if I won the cake baking contest at the fair?
Well, honey, I'd say, gosh.
Oh, I'm sure I can win. I'm using Mother's prize-winning recipe. I want to show you what a good cook I am. You know, I think sometimes girls pay too much attention to their looks. After all, men prefer girls who can cook, too.
Oh, I don't know. I've heard fellas say, boy, has she got a shape. But I never heard them say, boy, has she got recipes.
Well, just the same, Mr. Blank. You will be getting a good cook when we're married. If we're ever married.
Oh, gosh, honey, I want us to get married soon. Go ahead, you just name the day.
Now, we have named the day 4 times already.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Now if we could only decide on the year.
Oh, honestly, darling, you should become more serious about your business. Now, remember, be businesslike.
Hello, Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop. You bend it, we mend it. Who? Oh, the Y. Oh, it's the Y, honey. Hello? Yeah? Do I know how to get to the Y? Sure. I was there last week with a friend. And we had a swim and a rub-down together. Wait. Look. Hey, please, I only meant...
What's the matter, darling?
It's the YWCA.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll be right over. Thank you. Goodbye.
What a businessman. What'd they want?
Well, they want me to fix an oven. I'll go over and land all their fix-it business. Just for you.
That's the way I like to hear you talk.
I'll go down there and really sell myself. They won't be able to say no to me about anything.
Remember, darling, it's the YWCA.
Huh? Oh, well, almost anything.
Now, ladies of the cooking class, that will be all for now. You've baked some lovely cakes today. And remember, the one I think is best is going to represent the YWCA at the county fair tomorrow. Well, come back later, girls, and I'll announce the winner.
I beg your pardon, ma'am.
Goodness, a man!
Thank you. I'm Mel Blanc.
What can I do for you, young man? I'm Stanhope, the cooking teacher.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Stanhope?
Miss Stanhope.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
Well, if you'll show me the oven, I'll get right to work. I told the secretary I'd start right in.
This is odd. Very odd.
Oh, I do a lot of odd jobs.
I must take this up with the membership committee. Well, there's your stove right there.
Thanks.
And you'll find all the ingredients for baking a cake.
Me? Bake a cake?
Please, you were late to start with, so get to your pots and pans. But, young man, the secretary sent you here, didn't she?
Yeah, but...
Well, very well, then, start baking. I'll be back later to see how it turns out. Extremely odd. Unheard of.
Hey, just a minute, Gosh, what does she want me to do? Bake a cake to prove I can fix an oven? What a silly way to run a place. Boy, am I glad I joined the YMCA. What do I know about cooking? Well, here goes. For you, Betty. Gosh, I'm following the recipe on this box, but I'm not getting anywhere. It says break 6 eggs, beat till stiff. That's silly. Some people get stiff quicker than others. Now add a level teaspoon of vanilla. Whoever heard of a level teaspoon? The stuff would roll off. Now, before putting in cake, stand near open window and cool off. Cool off? I don't even feel warm. Oh, this is silly. This batter won't even stick together. Hey, wait a minute. Nobody's going to eat this cake. I know what'll make it stand up. Yes, sir, I'll mix in a little putty.
Ladies, come here to Mr. Blank's stove. This marble cake is a work of art. Why, it looks just as though it was modeled out of clay. However did you do it?
Oh, I just stuck a few things together. Now do I get the job?
You certainly do.
Swell.
Even though it's a bitter blow to all of us girls, a man is going to represent the YWCA at the county fair. You and your beautiful cake.
Oh, thanks. Betty'll be... What?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, but you can't. You don't know what I put into it.
Now, your recipe is your own precious secret.
Oh, this is silly. I don't know how to cook.
No false modesty, Mr. Blank.
But I tell you,
Not a word now. I'll see you in the fair.
Gosh, I hate to think what'll happen if Betty hears about this. I started out to be a serious, dignified businessman, and now I'm a male prudence penny. A penny that feels just like 2 cents.
Use Colgate tooth powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
When two is company, take it from me, a breath of trouble is very NG. Yes, indeed, that little breath of trouble, I mean unpleasing breath, may ruin your romance, even jeopardize your job. Yet anyone can be the victim of unpleasing breath, even you. Just do this. Brush your teeth night and morning and before every date with Colgate Tooth Powder. For Colgate Tooth Powder cleans your breath as it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests have definitely proved that in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate Tooth Powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. What's more, no dentifrice at any price cleans your teeth more quickly and thoroughly than Colgate Tooth Powder. Remember to buy it first thing. And remember the name Colgate Tooth Powder, with the accent on powder.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Well, when it comes to getting into trouble, Mel takes the cake. In this case, the beautiful cake he made with the aid of a little putty. We find Uncle Rupert trying to understand just what happened to Mel.
Let me get this straight, Melvin. Your cake is going to represent the YWCA at the fair?
But I tell you, Uncle Rupert, I was an innocent dupe.
Dupe? That's a strange pronunciation.
Oh, I tried to explain to Miss Stanhope, but she wouldn't listen.
You should have made her listen, my lad. You could have done it. You've got something on the ball.
Yeah, I've got something on the ball. A great big number 8.
Ah, look. Here comes Mrs. Longnecker down the street. My beloved Clara.
So what?
So everything, my lad. Don't you know she's the honorary judge at the cake contest tomorrow?
She is?
I'll just explain this culinary comedy of errors, and she'll make sure your name isn't even mentioned. You know, I can mold Clara like putty in my hand. What's the matter? What's the matter?
Putty, don't ever mention that word.
Ah, Clara, my dear, it's good to see you. You're as radiant as...
Rupert, you're getting fat.
I think I carry my weight rather well, my dear.
You don't carry it, you drag it.
How are you feeling today, Mrs. Longnecker?
Oh, I'm so weary, Melvin. I spent the whole day trying to find a suitable safe deposit box for my money. And would you believe it, in this whole town, there was only one that would do.
Well, that's good.
But I can't use it.
Why not?
There's a family living in it now.
Oh.
Oh, money, money, money. My millions cause me nothing but misery.
I'd be glad to share your misery, my dear.
Please, Rupert, none of your nincompoopity.
Nincompoopity.
Well, excuse me, Mrs. Longnecker. I've got something to do. Oh, Uncle, don't forget to ask, you know what.
What, Rupert?
Well, my dear, tomorrow at the fair, when you're judging the cakes, if you happen to come across one with Melvin's name on it...
Melvin baked a cake.
Well, it's a long story, but would you...
Would I? Oh, you want me to see that Melvin's cake wins. You want me to open my big, generous heart and say yes.
On the contrary, my dear, I want you to open your big, generous mouth and say no. Oh, what I meant was...
You're positively insulting. Good day.
Hey, how'd you make out, Uncle Rupert? Is she going to do anything about my cake?
I'm afraid not, nephew.
Oh, but you
Well, for all you know, Betty might be glad to know that you're a good cook.
Oh, I'm a good cook, all right. A wonderful cook. I'm the only one in the world who can bake a cake and cook his own goose at the same time. Betty, what would happen, well, just suppose, for instance, a man won the cake contest today.
A man? Oh, don't be ridiculous, darling. No man would enter a cake contest at the fair.
Oh, he wouldn't, huh?
What's the matter with you, darling? You seem so nervous.
Look, honey, I know I make a lot of mistakes, but I keep trying to improve myself because I love you.
I know.
Oh, Melvin, may I see you a moment?
Oh, pardon me, Betty. I'll see what Uncle Rupert wants.
Nephew, your worries are over. Your old uncle is going to take care of that confounded cake.
Look, it's almost time for the contest. Do anything.
Have you seen Zookie around?
No, but there's Dr. Crab, the dog doctor. Maybe he has. I'll see you later.
Dr. Crab, that dried-up dog doctor. Oh, well. Oh, Christopher, have you seen Zookie?
Zookie? No, Rupert, I haven't.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing's the matter with me. Just got a catch in my throat. Could I have a pan of water?
Christopher, you're even getting to sound like a dog.
Oh, thank you, Rupert. No, I don't feel so good today. Would you see if my nose is cold?
Oh, you're okay. Surprising that you managed to tear yourself away from those dogs.
Yeah, I love my dogs. Man's best friend. You know, sometimes it takes me hours just to give them dinner.
What do? Feed them one by one?
Yeah, to each his bone. Why, sometimes...
Look, Christopher, I'm in a hurry. I've got to find Zookie.
You know, they're judging the livestock here today. My cow could have been the best cow in the show, but there was a blot on her record.
Your cow had a blot on her record?
Yeah. Those milk people once fired her for being discontented.
Please, go away. Go away.
All right, Rupert. But remember, a cow has the kind of shape that gives us many laughs. Her thighs are bad, her ankles worse. But she sure has pretty calves. Bye.
Zookie, I thought I'd never find you.
Yeah, I'm sure glad you did. I was lost.
Now listen carefully. Mel is in trouble. One of us has to sneak into that tent where the cakes are.
Yeah.
One of us has to eat up Mel's cake, every last crumb of it.
Yeah.
One of us has to take the chance of being caught and thrown out.
No.
But Zookie, it's for Mel.
Oh. Why didn't you say so? Yes, some marble cake. Very tasty. I think I just swallowed one of the marbles. This just hits the spot. I wish it didn't hit so hard.
Zookie!
Huh? Oh, Mrs. Longnecker.
What are you doing? Don't tell me you're eating Melvin's cake.
Okay. I won't tell you.
Put that cake down.
I am, as fast as I can.
Oh, do you know what you've done? That was the YWCA entry in the contest. I'm going to take you to the fair officials at once. I'm going to take you there if I have to carry you.
Well, I'm all through. Gosh. I'll have to be carried.
It'll just be a minute now, dear, before Mrs. Longnecker announces the winner.
Yeah.
Oh, darling, I've got a hunch I'm going to win. Mel, aren't you glad I'm a good cook? After we're married, you'll be well fed.
Yeah. My dad used to say, just get married, son, and you'll soon get fed up.
What?
Oh, I didn't mean... Oh, there's Mrs. Longnecker now.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were 2 cakes tied for first place in the contest. One made by Betty Colby.
Darling, my cake.
The other representing the YWCA.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, the YWCA cake was destroyed completely.
Hooray!
Mr. Blank, please. But just because that cake was destroyed, it made up my mind. A young man passing by could not resist it. He ate every last crumb of it. Yes, that's what this boy Zookie did.
Zookie? Oh.
Obviously, a lovable American boy is a better judge of cake than I am, and so I award the Domestic Science Cup to Mel Blanc.
Mel! Mel, what does this mean?
I've got to go.
Where are you going, Mel?
I think I smell my fudge burning.
Mel Blanc, come out from under that counter.
Oh, I was just looking for Zookie.
Well, you won't find him there.
Oh, but you don't understand. I'm worried about him. Anything might have happened to him, Betty.
Why don't you worry about what happened to me? I was never so embarrassed.
Oh, I know, honey. Gosh, I'm sorry.
That catty Muriel Graves wanted to know if I still loved you, even with your dishpan hands.
Oh.
Mr. Thurston, president of your lodge, stopped me and...
Yeah, I know. He's going to transfer me to the ladies' auxiliary.
Well, here's the cup you won, with your own little hand. Well, go on, read the inscription.
Well, okay. Oh, no.
Go on, read it. Go on.
To the kitchen queen, who's sure to make some man an ideal wife.
And I have to be engaged to Miss Kitchen Queen of 1946.
Oh, gee.
And you were going down to the YWCA to get their business.
I got the business. Well, won't you let me explain? I went to the YWCA to fix an oven, but Miss Stanhope made me bake a cake. The only reason my cake looked like anything at all is because I put putty in it to make it stand up.
Oh, Mel, Putty. Oh, darling.
Well, it's no laughing matter. Zookie ate it. For all I know, the poor kid may be in the hospital right now.
Oh, no wonder you were so worried about Zookie.
Hey, did somebody call me?
Oh, Zookie, are you all right?
Hey, maybe we ought to call a doctor, huh?
Oh, yeah, Zookie, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel fine. I feel great. I was singing all the way home.
Singing?
Yeah, it's the cement mixer, putty.
We'll be back in a minute for a Zookieism. What's a Zookieism? Well, wait and see.
Use Colgate tooth powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Young man, have you wondered why opportunity stays away from your door? Perhaps a little breath of trouble, unpleasing breath, has caught up with you. It's best to be on your guard. So do this. Brush your teeth night and morning and before every date with Colgate tooth powder. For Colgate tooth powder cleans your breath as it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests have definitely proved that in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. What's more, no dentifrice at any price cleans your teeth more quickly and thoroughly than Colgate tooth powder. Remember to buy it first thing. And remember the name Colgate tooth powder with the accent on powder.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Well, Zuki, we had quite a mix-up at the fair today. I'd like to feel you profited by it.
Yes, my lad. It should have taught you what people should do to stay out of trouble. What should they do?
Well, to stay out of trouble, huh? Yeah. Well, people should look before they people should mind their P's and Q's. People should let them eat cake.
This is Bud Easton reminding you that Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you the Mel Blanc Show every Tuesday at the same time. Be sure to join us again next Tuesday night for more fun with Mel and the people you'll meet in Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop.
Say hello to Halo Shampoo for naturally bright and beautiful hair. Remember, even finest soaps and soap shampoos hide the natural luster of your hair with dulling soap film. But Halo Shampoo contains no soap, therefore leaves no dulling soap film. Even in hardest water, Halo makes oceans of rich, fragrant lather, quickly banishes loose dandruff and dirt. Halo needs no lemon or vinegar rinse. Say hello to Halo and goodbye to dulling soap film. Get Halo Shampoo at any cosmetic counter.
The Mel Blanc Show was written by David Victor and Herb Little Jr. and was produced and directed by Joe Ryan. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Fred Allen Show, scheduled especially at this time and rebroadcast exclusively for you men in the armed forces of the United States and your brothers in arms by the Special Service Division of the War Department, starring Fred Allen with Portland Hoffa and Al Goodman's orchestra.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 pages of pictures of a certain radio comedian in this week's Look magazine. We bring you now a man who has been thumbing his copy incessantly and is here with a dirty look. He's Fred Allen.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And Jimmy, I'm glad that you mentioned those pictures in Look.
They must have touched those up. You came out swell.
Well, they have a trick lens. They do the whole thing. You know, to save paper, Look is printing fewer copies and asking people who buy a magazine to share it with their friends.
Oh, is the idea catching on?
Oh, it's sweeping the country, Jimmy. Didn't you read last week that Veronica Lake is combing her hair up so that people can see her other eye?
Yeah, but what has Veronica Lake's other eye got?
She is sharing her look, Jimmy. That's the... I'm glad that Veronica is going to show her other eye for the duration, Jimmy. Her face is all out for victory, and I think it sort of proves...
Mr. Allen!
Well, Portland... Do you want to join our round table, Portland? The subject is Veronica Lake.
Yes. I read about a woman working in a shipyard with a Veronica Lake hairdo.
Oh, you mean with her hair down, she couldn't see what she was doing?
No. She dropped a red-hot anchor in the Hudson River.
A red-hot anchor?
Yeah. It boiled all the fish as far up the river as Peekskill.
Boiled all the fish, huh? Well, I heard... Well, that's the first time a row of fish egg has ever been laid on the program. I heard about a woman worker who lit a cigarette in the powder room and passed over the Navy Yard going 90 miles an hour.
But how?
The powder room was on a battleship. You see, that's what did the whole thing.
Unlike Veronica Lake, this girl's bang raised her, if you see what I mean. But what else is, what if all these people are waiting for, what else is new in the paper?
Some man bought the Philadelphia National Baseball team.
I know. He threw the team away. He just wanted to get the Phillies ballpark to turn it into a victory garden. I saw that. Have you any other hot news?
Well, Brooklyn wants to leave New York and become a separate city.
Brooklyn does? Why?
Brooklyn wants to become a cultural center.
Oh, that's silly. There's lots of culture in Brooklyn, but it's mostly physical. You see that? Why, if Brooklyn leaves New York, somebody's at the door. Excuse me. Come in.
Hey, Mr. Allen, will you do me a favor?
Well,
You got to help me, Mr. Allen.
Well, how?
I'm supposed to be on Phil Baker's Take It or Leave It program tonight.
Now, look, Sonny, Mr. Baker's program comes on right after ours.
Well, that's it. I've just heard from my draft board. I'm leaving for Camp Dix.
Well,
If I'm not on Take It or Leave It tonight, the program can't go on the air.
But what?
If you take my place, you'll save the show. Say you will, Mr. Allen, please.
All right. Now, calm yourself. What is it you do on Phil Baker's program?
I yell, "You'll be sorry!"
How do you like that guy making personal appearances already?
Last week, Phil Baker himself was here.
Hey, Phil Baker, that reminds me. Baker didn't come in to complain tonight.
Your program must have finished on time last Sunday.
Yes, I guess good old Phil is finally happy. He had his full 30 minutes to himself last Sunday. Well, as long as we've seen the end of Brother Baker, we may as well go down to Allen's Alley.
What is your question?
Well, this past week, as you know, everyone in the country had to get War Ration Book number 2. And so our question tonight is, now that you have your new ration book, do you understand point rationing?
Shall we take off for Allen's Alley?
Why not? Well, here we are back in Allen's Alley, Portland.
Look, there's a man knocking on John Doe's door.
Why, it's Mr. Doe himself. Hello, Mr. Doe.
Go away. I'm busy.
Hey, you're knocking on your own door.
I know. I'm getting absent-minded. I was supposed to put the cat out. I put myself out. Now the cat won't let me in. Oh, come on, pussy. Open the door.
Well, tell me, a Balaban would do what cats won't do at a time. Tell me, Mr. Doe, how are you fixed for canned goods?
Oh, when I seen the food shortage coming, I says to the wife, start hoarding.
Start hoarding, huh? And she did?
Oh, she buys 800 cans of everything.
You were sitting pretty.
Except for one thing.
What?
She couldn't get no priority on a can opener.
With 800 cans? Well, how did you open the can?
Well, lucky, the wife has one buck tooth in front.
But how,
Well, the wife would bend down, sink her buck tooth into the tin.
Yeah?
Then I would chase her around the can.
And the top would come off?
As clean as a whistle.
Yeah?
It was too good to last.
Something happened?
The water pipes busted and washed the labels off of the 800 cans.
I see.
For 2 weeks until we opened the cans, we didn't know what we was eating.
Well, how are you doing now?
Well, we're eating, but it's costing a fortune.
Well, why, Mr. Doe?
Well, the only way we can tell what's for dinner...
Yeah?
I gotta take an armful of cans and go next door to the doctor.
And?
The doctor x-rays the cans and tells me what's inside.
Well, why is this so expensive?
Well, besides what it costs for the cans...
Yes?
The doctor's charging me $10 a visit. So long.
I wonder how Socrates Mulligan is making out. Mrs. Mulligan tonight. Is Socrates in?
Socrates got a ticket for a radio program. He's went to see Take It or Leave It.
Oh. Well, how is this point rationing affecting you, Mrs. Mulligan?
Oh, don't make no never mind to me.
You've got your ration book?
Who needs it?
Well, without a ration book, you can't get food.
I can, mister.
You can? How?
But my grocer's nearsighted. He can't see nothing.
Oh, his eyes are bad, hey?
Yeah, when he opens up in the morning, he tips his hat and says hello to the cabbage.
Well, what about your ration book?
He can't tell one stamp from another.
I see.
I can go in there with a 3-cent postage stamp and get anything I want. Sure. So if food gets scarce,
Yes?
I'll walk in with an airmail stamp someday and clean out the joint.
Well, that brings me to the end of the alley. I'll try this last house again.
Hello, bonsoir, greetings, Gate. Falstaff's here to nauseate.
And I know you won't let us down, Falstaff. You have a fresh set of duds tonight?
I have some Lulus.
Good.
Have you heard things are back to normal? Once again, they're chasing Romo?
No, I haven't heard that.
Or since Meyer joined the choir, he's singing 2 notes higher?
Oh, no.
Or perhaps there's no sound any louder than my mother slurping chowder?
Now, wait. Finally, overdone the thing. Tonight we're talking about point rationing.
Precisely why I confront you. I have written a poem.
Well, what is your point rationing poem called?
The Picture That Never Was Painted.
How does it go?
The artist paced his garret bare, seeking an inspiration. Eureka, he shouted, I have it. This will make my reputation. I will paint a vegetable dinner with sauerkraut, carrots, and a beet. I can purchase some perfect models at the market up the street. With his ration book, he scurried away, but a little later he returned. His pigments he poured down the drainpipe. His canvas he silently burned. That picture never was painted with the sauerkraut, carrots, and the beet. The artist still lives in his garret bare. He shows through his smock in the seat. Point rationing ruined his masterpiece. The artist missed his chance to be great. His models, the vegetables, came to 49 points. His ration book had 48.
Fail. Now, as Falstaff dries a tear on his 17 stamp, we turn to welcome Hilo, Jack, and the Dame. With Al Goodman at the baton, the boys and the beauty sing Weep No More, My Lady.
Weep no more, my lady, weep no more. Though your love is on a distant shore. When you're feeling low and lonely, don't let him know. Tell him you're so proud of him and give his heart a glow. Weep no more, my lady, weep no more. Get behind the boy that you adore. Then one day you'll look up and see him standing in your door, and you'll weep no more, my lady, weep no more. Weep no more, my lady, dry your tears, my lady. He'll come back, my lady, weep no more. If you feel lonely, don't let him know. Weep no more, weep no more, weep no more, weep no more. Keep your spirit up, weep no more, my lady, weep no more. Get behind the boy that you adore. And one day you'll look up and see him standing in your door. And you'll weep no more, my lady, weep no more, my lady, weep no more, my lady, weep no more.
Oh, yes, Portland?
Is this the last day of February?
Yes, it's the 28th.
I feel sorry for February with only 28 days.
Oh, don't worry about February. You know what happens every 4 years.
The president is elected again.
Not only that, but it's leap year. The Republicans start leaping out windows. But why are you so interested in February?
Mama says when February is over, spring is here.
Oh, it's too early to talk about spring now.
Don't you think we'll see a robin soon?
Not if a butcher sees it first, you.
Mama says in 2 weeks everything is going
What?
In 2 weeks, everything is going to Morgenthau. That's it. March 15th, the country starts its annual spring cleaning.
Are they going to use the Rummel plan where they skip a year?
No, this year they're just skipping Mr. Rummel first. If they did... Well, again the door. All right, come in.
You dirty dog, Bill! Take that, and that, and that!
Hey, now, wait a minute. Either talk or fire, one thing at a time. Wait, what is this?
You're dead. Lay down.
I'm dead. Now, look, if anybody is dead...
Lay down. You're on the air.
Well, I'm supposed to be on the air. What are you doing in here?
Well, isn't this the Lone Ranger's program?
You're in the wrong studio.
Oh, shoot. Tonto will never forgive me for this.
Look, the Lone Ranger's in Studio K. You go out that door, turn left, take the elevator up to the 5th floor, turn right. Look, go outside and ask the doorman.
Thanks. Low-ho silver!
What is that low-ho? It's high-ho silver, isn't it?
No, silly. They put a ceiling on silver. Low-ho silver, away!
Well, it's spring, all right. It's spring, all right. The sap is starting to run through the building here.
It's hard to tell when spring is here in New York.
Ah, yes, it is hard to tell when spring is here. The only green you see is when a defense worker pulls out his bankroll.
It would be nice to see some trees once in a while.
Well, a few years ago, they tried planting trees on 6th Avenue.
What happened?
Well, they planted the trees right over the subway. It took them 3 weeks to get the roots out of the Bronx Express down there. But forget about spring, Portland.
Are you ready for our guest?
We haven't any guests tonight.
Not even Jack Haley or George Jessel?
No, not really. They took a week off. The boys took a week off this week. Next week we have Judy Canova, but tonight we're going to do, Oh, fine with the door. Come in.
You dirty dog, Bad Bill, take that! And that, and that!
Oh, for Pete's sake, now look.
You're dead, lay down!
Now look, you. I told you 2 minutes ago this is not the Lone Ranger program.
Oh, shoot, I'm in the wrong studio again. Tonto will kill me.
Now look, short, stumpy, and stupid. I am busy here. Beat it, blow.
Oh, for 2 cents, I'll haul off and give you a dirty look.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, you wouldn't talk like that if you knew who I was.
Who are you?
I'm the boogeyman. Boo! Oh, I'm scared of! You're not scared of yourself!
You're going to be late for the Lone Ranger's program. You better get out of here.
Yes, I can't miss tonight's episode.
Why not?
Tonight, the Lone Ranger's horse is killed.
The horse is killed and you have to be there?
They promised to give me the drumstick.
Oh. Well, if you eat the Lone Ranger's horse, you'll always have silver in your teeth.
Oh, you crazy you!
It's jerks like him who give jerks a bad name, of course. And now,
Mr. Allen.
No, not now, Portland. I have to announce our sketch. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we present the most baffling mystery ever brought to radio. It's called The Shot in the Penthouse, or Who Killed Carmelita Feingold? Music, please.
Hello? Yes, this is Carmelita Feingold.
We're too late, Clancy. She's dead. Who killed Carmelita Feingold? Listen, Clancy. Footsteps. There's somebody coming up the stairs. Quick, we'll hide behind this high boy. Stick him up, mister. Who are you?
I'm Phil Baker. Come on in, boys. Phil Baker. How do you...
Yes, it's
Phil Baker, Alan. Guest set, boys.
Now, look, Baker, we're right in the middle of a sketch.
Get away from the microphone, Alan. Jack Renard, take Al Goodman's baton and get in front of that family reunion over there, will you?
Now, wait a minute, Baker. What's the big idea?
One side, small fry. All right, David Ross, let's go.
Okay, Phil. Eversharp presents Take It or Leave It. Time to sharpen your wits with Eversharp.
Hey, what is this?
Yes, Take It or Leave It. The most exciting game you ever played. The game that doubles in interest with every question asked.
Say, what's going on
And
here?
so I give you the man with the $64 question. Eversharp's distinguished master of ceremonies. And here he is, Phil Baker.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now, Take It or Leave It starts with...
Now, wait a minute. Take it or leave it.
Alan, will you stop interrupting my program?
Your program? Your program comes on when I get through.
Boys, will you bring in the blackboard with the quiz subjects on it? And you fellas over there, bring on the tables. And all you folks who were selected as contestants, get ready to be quizzed.
What is this thing moving? This looks like the Grand Central already.
Look, I warned you last week, Alan, and the week before.
But, Phil...
Your show has been running over and using part of my time every Sunday.
But, Phil...
I've got the dates right here. November 15th, 10 seconds.
But,
November
Phil...
22nd, a minute and 5 seconds.
Phil...
Since last October, you... But, Fred, since last October... You've stolen 8.5 minutes of my time. Tonight I'm getting my 8.5 minutes back. I'm not Rudy Valley. My time isn't your time. And another thing.
You hear that knock on the door? That is probably my sponsor. He'll have something to say about you stealing his time.
Will, eh?
Come in, Mr. Skirball.
You dirty dog, bad bitch. Take that!
Wait a minute. You are in the wrong place again.
Well, what program is this?
The Texaco Star Theater.
Take it or leave it.
It's Texaco.
Texaco
Oh,
or leave it.
Stop it. You're driving me crazy.
What's on your mind, Buster?
Well, isn't this the Lone Ranger program?
No.
Well, then pull on both of you.
That's all. That's all we need now. Look, Baker.
I want to have television.
Baker, let me finish my sketch. Look, let me please finish my sketch. Carmelita Feingold is dead. Look, on the floor.
Pick up that body and scram, will you, please? This time belongs to me. I've got my announcer here. I've got my contestants. Jack Renard, my orchestra leader, is ready.
This is an orchestra leader?
That's Jack Renard.
He looks like the jackpot in a scavenger hunt.
Can he help it if we pay him off in salami?
What's going on? Is there any trouble, Fred?
There's plenty of trouble here, Jimmy. Phil Baker here thinks he's going to steal the last 8.5 minutes of our show.
Oh, why fight? Let Phil take it or leave it go on now. As long as I get my Texaco commercial in at the end, what's the difference? What commercial did you say, brother? Who are you? I'm David Ross. Who are you? I'm Jimmy Wallington. What was that crack you made about a commercial? I've got a Texaco commercial to give. Not on this program, brother. I've got an Eversharp commercial. Now listen here, loudmouth. Look here, gravel throat. Don't you get tough with me, you bull of a bait. Why, you stand by for a rinso jingle. Why, you little vocal
Let's get something going here, Fred.
Now, Phil's right, boys. I'll find out who killed Carmelita Feingold.
No, you don't. Take it or leave it is on the air. Let's go, Alan. Bring me my first contestant, will you?
I'm a stooge already. How... you, sir, are you the first contestant, are you? Socrates Mulligan. Fine. Well, this will get Mr. Baker off to a dying start. Mr. Baker, this is your first contestant.
It is, eh? Well, what is your name, sir?
Socrates Mulligan.
What business are you in?
I'm a catnip tester.
That sounds like an interesting profession.
I smell from cats, but if you hold your nose while I'm around, I'm good company.
Well, you look like an intelligent type, Mr. Mulligan. What subject would you like to talk about? What are you interested in?
Only the $64.
Something tells me that what you lack in intelligence, you'll make up in stupidity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, look, can I skip the other questions and get right to the $64 question?
All right. What would you like to talk about?
The president.
Very good. Presidents of the United States. For $64, Mr. Mulligan, what president is the Lincoln Hotel named after?
What is a hotel?
All right, I'll change that. What president is the Lincoln Tunnel named after?
What is a tunnel?
It's a hole in the head. Like you have.
Yeah, hole in the... This is a sticker.
Oh, it isn't too hard. What president is the Lincoln Tunnel named after?
The Lincoln Tunnel. I got to get my thinking cap on. Hey, do you give hints like Kay Kaiser?
Who's he?
Huh?
All right, I'll give you a hint. This president's first name is Abe.
Abe Lyman?
Was Abe Lyman ever president?
One question at a time.
Oh, wait. This is your last chance, Mr. Mulligan. What president is the Lincoln Tunnel named after?
Look, Mr. Becker, can I ask you a question?
Why, of course. What is it?
How do I get out of here?
Take the Lincoln Tunnel.
Special Service Division of the War Department of the United States has presented the Fred Allen Show, scheduled at this time and rebroadcast exclusively for you men in the armed forces of the United Nations. Now, a special musical afterpiece arranged and prepared expressly for you servicemen. Here's the orchestra with the sort of music your letters express a preference for. Take it away. You have just heard a delayed broadcast scheduled expressly at this time for the Armed Forces of the United Nations by the Special Service Division of the War Department of the United States of America. This program has been a part of our English language shortwave service.